Conor, welcome back to a UFC media day and a fight week. 5 years away from it. How good is it to be back, feet on the ground in Las Vegas and be here for a fight week?
Hallelujah. The Mac is back. Can I get a Mac energy, please? Tristan, thank you so much. Hallelujah, baby. Thank God. A beautiful day here in Las Vegas. This is the day the Lord has made, and I will be glad and rejoice in it. It's great to be back. Weight's on point. Body's on point. Mind sharper than ever. Plan is laid, set. Am I ready to go to war?
It feels like a McGregor fight week, but there was something new for this one. You have called yourself a belt many times in the past, and this week you finally got custom McGregor belts. What was it like seeing those in person, getting to throw them both over your shoulders?
Special to my heart. I thank the Ultimate Fighting Championship for the respect. And I love it. I'm going to go in and represent. I'm going to go in and represent the company and the McGregor name to the best of my ability. Awesome.
You have said repeatedly throughout this build-up that you are going to sun Max for the second time. Curious what you mean by that. What does sunning him look like in this fight, this rematch?
You know, I plan to contort Max's body into such uncomfortable positions and have my way with him. That's it.
Is he the perfect guy for you to come back and rematch and fight for this return fight? Does he feel like the perfect person to stake your claim as I am back and I'm ready to compete at the highest level once again?
Max is a great dance partner, if you will, a great opponent. He's a deep body of work inside the octagon. Fought many a man. It's a great opponent, a great event, great fight week, great international fight week. I'm very, very happy here.
Conor.
I'm very thankful.
Conor, money for you is like taking sand to a beach. It's not a problem, right? But with this fight, all these fighters beforehand today are all tipping Max. Not this little man over here. He thinks you're an absolute moral. What do you say?
You know, nothing better than proving people wrong. People are entitled to their opinion. Some are valid. You know, there's some questions. Time out, injury, lifestyle, yada, yada, yada. I know. And your boy knows there. Fair play to him. And there you go. Let's go. We're going to go in Saturday night and shut them all up again. You know, the business is on the rise. The money is coming in. So, get into this game, baby. We're rocking and rolling. The Mac is back.
Conor back here. Throughout your early part of your UFC run, and even 2016 was such a magical year, not just for you, but the sport, but you disrupted so much back then, and now you return 5 years later with the opportunity to disrupt everything again in multiple divisions. Do you feel that right now? Like, do you feel sort of that magic, almost like a...
Shake up the game. Shake up the business, for sure. Prove myself to myself. I am who I say I am. I am that I am.
I want to ask you one more question because you've been talking a lot about finding religion and putting yourself in this spiritual place. And normally it takes like a certain moment for that reflection to happen to kind of turn things around. Do you remember the moment where you felt like this is the need, like you had to get to the knees and rejoice and find that within yourself? Do you remember that moment where you kind of turned it all over?
You know, you got to do deep internal work. It's not just like, it's many moments even, if you will. It's not just one, it's a whole sequence of events and almost divine coincidences that just cannot be anything but the higher power, and I connected to it. I am not my body. I am not my feelings. I am not my thoughts. I am my soul, and my soul is connected to the highest power.
Conor, is that the old famous fuck you suit, or is this a new version that we're wearing today?
This is the similar style to it. I was only saying we broke the internet back then with that one. This isn't the fuck you, but it's a different one. It is the suit, but it's titled with 1xBet. There's a partner of mine. So, you know, we showed them love. They support the Mac in the camp. And I'm grateful for all the support from my business associates and my team. And then my fans. I'm grateful beyond measure for my fans and their loyalty and their excitement here. And as much as I'm back for the love of the game, I am back for the love of the fans.
Conor, how do you feel to be back at Las Vegas? What can you tell us about the city? And what can you tell us about coming back in your second home, the T-Mobile Arena? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, my man. It's good to be home. Good to be home. An amazing arena here, Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world. I look forward to opening up this market for my bare knuckle fighting championship company, which will be an outstanding event. Imagine bare knuckle fighting championship in Las Vegas. We're very excited with that. Those conversations are ongoing. And, you know, I'm always happy to come back here to Las Vegas. I have property here. I bought a house here many years ago. And, you know, I got the kids out and family out. And we love it here. It's great to be back. Thank you so much.
Hello, champ. Conor, many say you that no longer have the fire or the hunger you had before. What do you say to those things you are done?
You know, if I didn't have the fire or the hunger, yet I'm up against one of the most active bodies in the fight game, in Max Holloway. But, you know, I just think it's silly to say this. You know, the challenge is colossal. It is a colossal challenge ahead of me that I am entering with supreme confidence. It's magnificent. The fire is in my belly roaring and is about to be released on Saturday night. I've practiced abstaining also in this camp. It's the first time I've ever done it from any type of physical touch, if you will. And that's been intense. I'm excited to see what it brings on Saturday night. We're going to have a good night Saturday, all across the board.
Thank you, champ.
Conor, you mentioned you have been gone. Sorry, over here to your left. You mentioned you have been gone for a while, but the cultural relevance remains. Guys in the World Cup are still doing the strut. I mean, do you pay attention when guys are still doing things to pay tribute to you and honor you? And what does that mean to you that you've had this cultural relevance? For
it's always great. It's always great when we have a little fresh one on Saturday night. You know, we're gonna have fun with it. The game it's a fun business, ruthless business, but a fun business. You know, focus on enjoying the process, and you know, let's go. Pop culture and sport culture, and it's always great to have the eyes of the world on our work, and that's it. I'm thankful.
You mentioned you understand that people could have doubts about you. Have you had doubts about yourself during this process?
No, none. You know, I outwork doubt. That's it. Doubt will only build when you do not put the work in. So I make sure and put the work in. Our preparation for this bout has been very, very meticulous. We have been very, you know, if you will, secretive. Nothing has really come out on approach, on styles. There's a full-fledged mixed martial artist stepping inside that octagon on Saturday night, and I'm excited to show it.
Last one for me. You very famously apologized to absolutely nobody in your career. Do you have doubts or do you have regrets, about like anything that's happened in your career or anything that you've done along the way?
You know, I'm thankful for the lessons I've learned. And my job is to honor the position God has put me in. And do not disrespect it. And that's where I'm at. I'm thankful for the lessons I have learned. And on I go.
Conor, when I saw you in Saudi Arabia a couple of years ago at the Tyson Fury-Francis Ngannou fight, you were pretty frustrated and said you're being kept from your living. To be back here now, like sitting on that stage just days away, can any part of you be grateful to get those extra 2 years? Or like, how do you feel sitting up there right now?
I don't want to get into this therapy vibe. It's a few tough years. There has been a few tough years. Thank you for reminding me of that, because that's had to give me a nice feeling of, yes, I'm here. I am here now. It's been a tough one, you know. But God works in mysterious ways. It is all as it should. So maybe it just wasn't meant to be at that time. And I'm happy how it has come about. Looking back and looking at how my preparation has gone, I'm thankful how it's gone. I'm well ready here. You know, if you think about it, I've spent some time preparing for the stocky boxer wrestler, the athletic wrestler in Chandler, and then you go to a longer, rangy, more volume striker and Max. So I had to be very proper in my preparation. You know, I couldn't take that for granted. You're switching a completely different stylistic opponent. So, I put the work in, and the time has worked. I'm happy and thankful for how it has worked out.
Max has said, that citing your quote that it's not a win unless you finish the fight, and that you're, I guess, 0-0 going into that. Do you believe that you have a true win over this man, or are you looking at it as...
Listen, I put my big Irish paws in his face. I sunned the boy. And, I faced a devastating injury. A career-ending injury happened to me in that bout that changed my entire approach to fighting. With the ACL tear and the meniscus tear. It was the first time I'd ever experienced something like that. So, listen, I beat him, and I'm going to beat him again on Saturday night for sure.
Just last for me, 100 numbered UFC events before this was UFC 229, the biggest fight we've had in the history of the sport with you and Khabib. We're 100 events forward now. Is this in a better place? Like, how do you look at the sport now? Do you feel it can raise to that level again? Do you bring it to that level again?
The economics, the finances of the company show. Last year, they got 1.4 billion in free cash floating around. I hope they've something spectacular for the fans. Big performances. I don't know. We should be doing something. We should be shocking the world and exciting the world with our events here, and I hope so. And I believe it will be that will be the case. Certainly, inside the octagon, I will do so. I will do my part. And the business is booming, my man. 7.7B in from Paramount showed this. We're going live on CBS, which I'm very thankful for the support of the Paramount family. And there you go. Business is booming, baby.
Conor, can you understand why some people feel you don't deserve this platform, given the court case 2 years ago?
I'm an innocent man, and I'll stand for my innocence until the day I go out. And that is still a situation where I fight. There's a reason it didn't go where it went, and it went to a civil trial. It is what it is. It stings deep. I continue to fight. I know the truth. And I know that lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. And I know that anything done in darkness will soon come to light. And I trust in God that it's coming. You best believe it's coming. And I look very, very forward to the day.
Do you feel like you fell into the trap that so many fighters do with fame and money?
Obviously. 2017, double-weight world champion, Floyd Mayweather banked. And then I launched an Irish whiskey. I didn't drink heavily, if at all, in that time of my life. I was an athlete at the top of my game. Next thing you know, there's thousands upon thousands of bottles in my garage. Sell this, Conor. Okay, I'd leave my property and with 2 bottles under my arm. And that was it. I was caught. I wasn't used to it. That's it. God gave me these lessons. That's it. I was trapped and caught. And it is what it is. I trust in God. I trust in my journey. And I trust in the truth. And if the world is against the truth, then I am against the world. And that is where I stand.
Conor, some people say that one of the changes to the business is that you almost became too big. You can exist outside of the UFC bubble, and that now maybe they don't want to pay another star quite as much because then it might be harder to negotiate fights. Do you feel that's true? Do you feel like you had an impact because you were so successful and showed an example to the rest of your colleagues as fighters?
I'll always campaign for the fighters getting their worth. And I'm very happy with it. We're getting, it's a steady rise. If you ask Max, I'm sure it's probably 5 times his highest pay. You know? So the boys are getting there. And the boys and the girls are getting there. And I will always campaign for that. And I'll always be happy that I have helped spearhead that. You know, as an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, it kind of puts me in a pickle. You know? I always vouch for the fighters. So, but I also have a stake in the company. So there has to be some sort of balance. But still, I am a fighter at heart. I know what it takes in this business. And I know without the fighters, there is none of this. Not an iota of it. So I'm happy that the money is rising in the fight business and that we're thriving. And I'm happy to be back and give it that extra little fuel to its rocket. And off it goes.
If you could be anonymous for one day, go somewhere and nobody recognized you, what would you do? Where would you go?
Well, man, I don't know. Church. I go to church and just praise God. Get on my knees and praise our Lord. He's given me it all. And I'm forever on my knees in praise.
Conor, Justin Gaethje said he'll be in attendance for your fight against Max. He also says he wants to punch you in the face. What's your response to Justin Gaethje?
Yeah, join the queue. Join the queue. There's a few. You know, yeah, look, he has the lightweight belt, fair play to him. Holloway put him face down, ass up, though. Badly face down. So, you know, I'm not even thinking of it at this time. But I go down to lightweight again. Also, is another thing, I'm not so sure. I fancy the Triple Crown. So, less of the disrespect, you fucking bum.
Now, Max Holloway has also been training with JDM, who's a welterweight himself. What are your thoughts on him choosing JDM as a training partner to emulate you?
That's not going to cut it. Not bad choice. Why not? I seen the little Pitty Pat Mickey Mouse Club training. It looks like a teen amateur fucking... It's not on the level. It's not going to cut it for the ferocity that will be before him in the octagon, as well as the array of weaponry. So there you go. Both can get it.
Conor, you said that you're ready to face the best fighters. So Shavkat Rakhmonov beat your fellow Irishman Ian Gary, considered as one of the most dangerous contenders in this division. So if things go your way, do you see that fight happening one day? And what do you think of him as a fighter?
I know he had a heavy injury and he's building back from that, so I'll leave him to it. I don't really think anything of him at the minute. He's got a lot of work to do. What has he got to offer me? You know, the title, he would have to acquire the title for me to even consider. He's not a bad fighter. That's it.
Conor, what sort of conversations do you think people will be having on Monday morning after your fight?
The Mac is well and truly back. And that's it. The excitement is going to be off the charts on Saturday night. The performance is going to be off the charts. I have some shot selection here and some set of movements that I plan for this bout, and I'm excited to showcase it.
Conor?
Yeah?
You have some of the wildest build-ups, pre-fight build-ups in UFC history, but things seem pretty cordial between you and Max. After the time away, is a calm build-up what you need, or do you prefer the chaos?
It's pretty chaotic, all of it. You know, I am calm, I am centered for sure, probably more than I've ever been. And I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with the work I have put into myself, with the people who have helped me. And I'm in a great space. Bring on the chaos, baby. I'm calm in the chaos, comfortable in the uncomfortable. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this Mac energy is sensational. Yeah? This is going to blow this colossal... Yeah, I'll give it to you, Donna. This is going to blow this colossal industry wide open, this energy drink category. It's got loaded with ketones, BHB ketones, that I have patented. You people go into a ketogenic state, they starve and fast themselves to get this, what I've got in the can. And no other energy drink can have this. This baby is going to rocket ship to the moon. Try it and enjoy it, right? God bless you all. Don't go ahead. Sorry, my man.
Just a couple. I just wanted to ask you, does it upset, like obviously we've seen a bit on social media, like it's different in Ireland now, isn't it, than it was, you know, in the heyday. Does it upset you that that's the way that it is? And do you feel like you want to win back the Irish people and really have it be like it was, you know, a decade ago?
I'm not here to win anyone back. I'm here to represent my country. What is taking place in Ireland is the saddest story in the West. It is a travesty what is taking place, that our borders are wide open and that the most violent cultures are just hoisted upon our people in our rural towns, and the crime that is taking place is showing it. And if God wills it, I'll do it and I'll step in. And that's it. I hope so. It is what it is. The way people can feed into the propaganda or the, you know, the lies that are pushed to the people. It is what it is. It's sad, and it is the saddest story of the West, in my opinion, as Ireland does not deserve this. Our history deserves a better future. And I pray to our God that it is coming.
And also, there was a story a couple of years ago. I wanted to clear it up because you're finally on the card together, you and Paddy Pimblett. What did actually happen that night in Liverpool where supposedly you were at his house or something? Or
nonsense.
Is that so? It didn't happen? No. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you so much, all. Thank you all.
Max over here, back of the corner. You've been waiting a long time to share the octagon with Conor McGregor, and now we're just a few days away, and you're sitting up here at Media Day. What has this week been like for you? What are the feelings right now? Does it feel like just any other fight, or how would you describe it?
I mean, my media schedule felt like any other fight, but when you go on social media, you see everybody, you see the eyes, you see the clicks that you're getting on everywhere. It's huge, you know. It's fun, and when the World Cup is going on and people are talking about Holloway versus McGregor too, that's an amazing time to be alive.
How often do you reflect on that first fight? I know it's something you've wanted for a long time, but obviously so much has happened over the years since that first fight with championships and hiatuses for Conor and all sorts of stuff. Like, how much do you reflect on that first fight heading into this one?
Not much, you know. You live, you learn. You know, every loss to us is a learning experience, and that's all it was, you know. I got to do some great things after that. He did some great things, and we're here now 13 years later, and I'm excited.
I was asking Robert Whittaker a little while ago about light heavyweight Robert Whittaker, and he feels like it's been life-changing. Welterweight Max Holloway, has that been just as life-changing for you? What is this fight week like fighting at 170 as opposed to 55 and 45?
I mean, 45, you can't even compare it, right? 55, I always talked about how it's been great, been better, it's been awesome. 170, oh my gosh. It's just performance up here, so I love it.
And then last thing for me, yesterday, you and DC had another infamous run-in. What was that like for you, and what's the message for Daniel Cormier a day later?
I mean, I just saw him again, you know. I keep harassing him. I've been calling him out for years, bro. He's been running away. If I could get another fight, that's the man I want to be. They keep talking about weight classes, this and that. Dude can just show up. We gotta solve our problems.
Max, what have you made about Conor's apparent frustration that he's not talked about as the greatest featherweight of all time, and he's a little bit mad that you sometimes get called that?
I'm just hearing this now. Is he frustrated? I mean, it is what it is, right? When people talk about this kind of stuff or stats or history, you want the fans and you guys to talk about it, not us. So Yeah, he got a bone. He needs to start picking a bone with you guys, not me. It's not my fault.
What do you feel, when guys move up in weight, people start talking about, does the power translate? Does the chin translate? As you're the bigger guy up there now at 170, do you feel like it makes you a stronger guy? Does it make you a slower guy? What does the changes do to your performance?
I feel good. Strength, cardio, movement, everything that you said. I feel great. I know you guys have been following me on media and seeing what I've been doing. We bring in the former 170 champion, Jack Della. Had great looks, had great training. We was only supposed to train together for a week. We loved it so much, he ended up staying for a second week. And I think so bringing him in was huge, It was good fun. And we'll get to find out Saturday night. It's going to be fun.
It is what it is. You have done a lot of stuff in the last 5 years since Conor's been away, right? 300, the BMF belt. There's been massive moments. Do you feel like getting this rematch that for a while there we were never sure if you might get, has this whole week and this whole process just been fun? Like, finally I get it. It's going to be fun. I get to try and get my win back. Talk about the experience of having this rematch booked and just the emotions getting it after years of waiting around for it.
It's huge, who would have thought that Conor was even coming back after what happened with the injury and then with him and his other injury at a fight that he had. So it's just big. I finally get the right or wrong, and I'm looking forward to it. He's a killer, and I'm looking forward to see the best Conor McGregor come July 11, and hopefully I get a SportsCenter #1 spot up there.
What's the money like for a Conor McGregor fight these days?
It's beautiful, bro. I'll tell you this much. Every single guy that fighter or non-fighter is saying that I'm fighting for money, I'm a prize fighter, brother. This is what we do. If you wasn't fighting for money, you're an idiot.
Max, just one quick one to kind of go back on the DC and fighting a welterweight and everything. On Embedded, almost 10 years ago, there's a clip of you calling DC, quote, a fat shit because he gets to eat rice. So
Yeah.
How's the diet been as a
I
welterweight?
guess I get to call myself a fat shit because I get to eat rice now in fight camp. But yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. DC's a fatter shit, so it's crazy.
Max here. This is going to be your 15th main event in the UFC. The only people who have more are Anderson Silva at 21, John Jones at 19, Randy Couture at 18, and Tito Ortiz at 16. Do you think when it's all said and done, you top that list?
Shit, I need 6 more, yeah. So looks like you guys are going to see me for 6 more probably.
And I know you keep saying you want that 300 moment, right? And you're chasing that again. But I feel like I always hear fighters talk about when you start chasing things in the fights, that's when they don't come to you. So how do you, I guess, find the balance in wanting something spectacular, but also fighting as you need to?
I understand what you're saying, I couldn't tell you, but that's the things that I want, I didn't, like you said, I know there's records out there that I want. I guess I didn't even think about them, so you just made me change my mind. I'm not chasing no moment. I want SportsCenter top 10. Maybe we get the #1. See? Reverse psychology.
And I know you said last time you didn't love having to do all the face-offs with Charles, the Paramount one. I don't think you're going to have to do it because we're not at the Apex this time. So are you just looking forward to seeing Conor for the first time tomorrow in front of the crowd with all that energy?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think that face-off is just weird, bro. Weird as hell. You keep seeing this guy. I mean, I know I'm usually cool with the guys, even with Charles, but so just weird seeing him true. Like, we're not going on a date or nothing, Just let me see them one time. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that we finally get to go back to somewhat normal. The press conference, weigh-ins, and then fight night. Should be fun.
Max, you beat Gaethje and you are the BMF, but Conor insists he's still the true owner of the division. What are you going to do this Saturday to prove his time has passed?
I'm going to go in there and put paws on him. I'm going to make him wish that he didn't come back. Actually, no, I'm not going to make him wish that. I'm going to make him think that he can do it one more time so we can rematch at the end of the year.
Max, down here to your left. Dead here to your left here. You can't see me. Anyway, I feel like the consensus among most MMA fans, given Conor's layoff, is that you should walk right through him, particularly with your volume-heavy style. How is it competing with the pressure of being the one who should come out with the victory?
I mean, that's crazy talk, right? A lot of people, a lot of fans is counting Conor out, which is crazy. I mean, a lot of people count Justin Gaethje out. I mean, this is different. This is different situations, right? But this guy has unlimited money You know what I mean? He has a lot of connections. He's coming back from a crazy injury. He supposedly found God. His kids is going to be here at the fight. I saw Tim Grover in a picture with him. I don't know if that's the coach now, but he's doing all the right things. You know what I mean? So I'm getting ready for the most dangerous Conor McGregor we ever saw, and nobody's telling me otherwise. Because once you start overlooking people, things don't go too well for you.
And you mentioned it there. He has millions of pounds, well, dollars in the bank. He has accolades. He doesn't need to do this. What do you think that says about his character?
He's an animal. He's a warrior, bro. Nothing but more than respect. You know, there's a saying that that I grew up watching. I forget what boxer promoter said it, but I was watching a documentary, and he said it right. You know, he was like, "Why the hell would a rich kid fight? Rich kid don't need to fight. You know, poor kids fight." So to see that he still got that side of him in him is exciting.
Do you think that you'll be given the credit for beating this version of Conor McGregor, obviously coming off the leg break, the 5 years? Do you maybe wish that this had come a few years earlier?
I mean, when it's all said and done, we live in a social media way. I don't think anybody getting credit for anything nowadays. So at the end of the day, if they give me the credit, if not, it is what it is. I get to go out there and check something off my list.
Thank you.
Max in the middle right here. Any concerns that this fight wasn't going to happen just because it has been so long that Conor's been in there? And if so, did that weigh on you at all during camp, whether this is going to happen or not?
Not at all. You know, I didn't have too many concerns. You know, everybody talked about that one Chandler fight. He did only really ever pull out of that fight ever in his whole UFC career. It was one, and people just hold it like tooth and nail towards him, which is crazy. But I had nothing. I just trained as usual, and if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. If we got to this point and it still didn't happen, then they have other guys in the pipeline, I believe, and we're just ready for whatever.
You mentioned training with Jack Della Maddalena. Is that something you plan on doing in the future, or was it specific to fighting McGregor?
For sure. Now we got guys, I'm at that point in my career where I think we have a little bit more connections with a lot of different camps and different people, and bringing in different bodies is good. It only helps me. I learned a lot from Jack, and I'm excited to do more training in the future.
Just last one from me. I don't know how much you still follow the Toronto Raptors, but what do you think of Kawhi Leonard going back to the Raptors in the big trade?
I'm pretty excited. I gotta Bobby be at the fight, the GM, and I gotta have a sit down talk with him because I don't know some of the stuff we gave up. I'm like, I don't know, but Kawhi is Kawhi. I'm excited, and who's to say he don't bring one back, to the city? So it'd be fun.
Hey, Max, there's another Pacific Islander, more on the Maori side, and Robert Whittaker, who's also moving up a division in this card. So I'll kind of ask you the same question I asked him. What's that like with this camp being up as far as your walking weight goes? Can you maybe tell us a little insight as far as what your walking weight was around 55, and does it change too much for this 170 camp?
Yeah, bro, it changes a little bit, I definitely got to get a little bit heavier. We wanted to be a little bit bigger. I mean, the cut is not as crazy, but it's still a cut, so... At the end of the day, your boy finally got to put on some size, and I'm just excited to show you guys Saturday night.
And as far as pressure testing it in the gym goes, we just mentioned Jack Della Maddalena as far as southpaw looks. Was there any southpaws for one, and for two, how did that weight feel, moving around for this camp with the extra weight?
Feel good. I have my boy Jack, and then we have another guy. You guys don't know his name. My man Will. He's been with me throughout the whole camp, and then he actually had to leave a little bit, so that's when Jack came in, and it was amazing. It was amazing, man. These guys are big boys. I love it, and I love the way I feel. I love my punching power. I love my power with them. I love clinching and feeling everything that 170 had to offer, and I can't wait to show you guys Saturday night.
Fantastic. And last one for me, you are 2-3 against UFC-level southpaws. You've avenged all those losses minus Conor McGregor, which you'll have obviously a chance this Saturday. Tell me, Max, you don't want to give away too much of the game plan, I imagine, but what do you feel about facing southpaws? Something you like, something you don't like? I noticed in the Arnold Allen fight, you fought like all southpaw almost, and then not as much against Poirier. Do you just change it up for the different opponent, or what's up?
Yeah. Every single fight we approach differently, and we saw certain things that work with certain people, and that's what we do. I got some of the best minds in the game, and my coaches, with Ryan Lazarus, Ivan Flores, and Darren Yap. Man, these guys, you guys wouldn't even know their names if I didn't say them. That these guys like being in the dark.
Two more questions. One,
Max, a large part of the storyline around this fight is obviously Conor's 5-year absence. As a guy who's been so active, how do you think a 5-year layoff would have affected you in your career?
Like I said, I think it shouldn't affect him. I think that I could come back from a 5-year. You give me his bank account, all his connections, brother, I'll be back in 10 years. That's what I'll do, you know? Like, everybody bringing that excuse up. Yeah, the only thing that he misses maybe the walk, the arena, the feel, right? But we still had Stone Cold Killers in there, bro. He still was one of the best fighters in the world at one point. So I'm looking forward to the best Conor McGregor.
Best of luck.
Thank you, brother.
Max, back here. Here, so there was, like, you were asked there about the finances going into this. Is this the best payday of your career, this fight?
For sure. I mean, maybe. We see. Everybody keep talking about Conor McGregor, this and that, and fighting for money. Like I said, man, anybody who ever says that they don't fight for money, they're lying through their damn teeth, bro. We're prize fighters. We're money fighters. This is what we want.
Did you notice anything, like, particularly when you fought on Paramount the last time versus, obviously, you're a pay-per-view headliner. Your last one would have been against Poirier on pay-per-view. Did you notice, like, financially there was much of a difference between those two?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And if you didn't notice it, you guys need new managers, fighters.
Wait, was it good or bad? It
was very nice.
And last one, just you were asked there about, Oscar asked about, Conor being frustrated at being, not ranked as the best featherweights. Of the 5 who have had that belt, you, Volk, Ilya, Conor, and obviously Aldo, how do you rank them from 1 to 5?
I think Aldo is my favorite, you know what I mean? But I can see the case with Volk for sure, you know what I mean? And then I also see through the media size-wise, and I'm not going to rank myself in it, right? So if it's 4, would have to be Aldo, Volk. Maybe you give a little bit more to Ilya because of who he did and the guys he fought, right? And then Conor just won it one time, boom, disappeared, became a double champ. So, truth to him, but that's just the way I look at it. Thank you, guys.
Hello, everybody.
Benoit back here. You get the big fight with Paddy Pimblett here on a Conor McGregor card. What is this like for you? This is a big opportunity.
Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to be here on such a huge card. And of course, it's a huge fight. I'm fully concentrated of what I have to do and deliver you a fight of the night performance.
Were you surprised that Paddy Pimblett was the name given to you?
Not too much, there was. I do believe I put myself in being in small group conversations, and he was part of it. So it's a huge fight, and I'm not underestimating him.
You obviously were given a big opportunity a few years back against Dustin Poirier, and you've gone through some low times, but you've come through, and you're on a run right now. Is this a bigger fight right now, fighting Paddy Pimblett, or do you feel like the Dustin Poirier was a bigger fight at the time?
It's a very tough game to have the same opportunity. You need to win a lot, so this is what I have been doing. The game is this way. You have to win as much as possible, the most impressive way possible. This is how you get your shots.
The division is obviously very different right now. Justin Gaethje just beat Ilya Topuria. He's the undisputed lightweight champion. What was your reaction to Justin's performance against Ilya? What does that mean for you in this division if you get a win on Saturday?
I did a great job. I mean, a masterclass in terms of application of his game plan. With Trevor Wittman, they did a great job, and he had enough toughness to go through the 2 first rounds, and then the game plan starting paying off, and he won that fight. Great performance.
And then last question for me. Conor McGregor is back. He's fighting Max Holloway in the main event. How do you see that fight going down? What's your prediction for the main event?
It's a huge fight. The huge interrogation is Conor. He hasn't been fighting since a long time. I just do believe that the more time the fight will last, the better it will be for Max Holloway.
Now over here in the center. We saw Paddy Pimblett go 5 rounds with Justin Gaethje. You're used to going out there and getting quick finishes. Any part of you watch that fight and make sure you don't overexert yourself trying to get the finish and tire out?
No, I mean, he did a fight where he won 1 round on the last 4, and it was a tough fight. He showed a lot of good stuff, good moments, but also some holes in his game, and it was a huge fight, great fight to watch, and I cannot wait to be inside the cage with him and to do my job.
Do you expect there any trash talk to be any trash talk in this fight? Because we know Paddy can sell a fight a little bit.
Whatever, I'm ready, and I cannot wait to be on Saturday. I think with me, you are here for. You will have your money back when you watch the fight anyway, so you don't need special service. You don't need anything more than that.
What did you think of Mauricio Rufy, who's apparently going to be the backup for the Conor McGregor fight? Do you think that was the right choice?
Very cool for him to have this opportunity. And he's a very good fighter, and I do believe it may be a huge fight if anything happens.
And just last one for me, a win here, especially a finish, does that get you the next title shot, or at least close to it, do you believe?
I never say anything before having my job done. First of all, humility, doing your job, and then you can hear me loud and clear.
Benoit, over here. You've served in the military. What is one thing that you've learned from your time serving your country that has helped you in your fight career?
Having the ability to go fast in my career, to learn fast, to have a good skills, to be prepared, to be a better fighter over time. Stress management. I mean, I started MMA in 2018. And 2019 I started professional, and 2021 I was in the UFC, so it went pretty fast because I was able to put on a good schedules and to manage my stress, to fight as much as possible, and to have my body ready for it, and just to do the job.
Thank you.
Benoit, you mentioned there that you see several deficiencies in Paddy's game. What are those deficiencies, or the glaring ones that you see?
I will not go into details, but I think if I do my job correctly, you will see them on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Benoit right here, just one. Benoit, not many fighters can say that they're called upon by the UFC to be in a big fight in Canada and then also in France. And then obviously you have a big opportunity. What does it mean to you that the promotion sees you as somebody that they can rely on and can count on to have these big fights and that will excite the crowd in many places around the world?
I'm really blessed and happy about it. I'm trying my best to be... to enjoy being a warrior. This is my philosophy. I want to fight as much as possible, to win as much as possible, and to get closer and closer to my ultimate goal, being the champion. And this is what I do, and the opportunity that is giving me the UFC as well. And I do my best to give them the best performance possible every time.
Thank you.
Benoît, juste ici pour la France. Cette rivalité un peu historique entre la France et l'Angleterre, là, c'est quelque chose qu'on retrouve dans la cage. Il y en a beaucoup qui font l'allusion au crunch. Est-ce que c'est quelque chose, toi, à laquelle tu fais attention?
Oui, je pense que pour le public, ça rajoute un petit peu d'enjeu. J'ai la chance d'être vachement suivi par la communauté rugby parce que c'est un sport qui me tient à cœur et auquel j'assiste régulièrement. Et France-Angleterre, c'est un gros match. Donc je pense que ça rajoute toujours un petit peu de piment.
Juste ici, Benoît. Justement, Paddy a dit que lui, ça lui mettait pas plus d'enjeu, cette rivalité France-Angleterre. De ton côté, ça donne une motivation supplémentaire?
Ouais, je pense que c'est surtout ultra cool pour le public. Ça a ce côté un petit peu historique et cette rivalité historique qui est cool. Mais maintenant, ouais, clairement, je suis concentré sur mon combat et j'ai pas besoin de motivation supplémentaire pour faire mon travail samedi soir.
Deux autres questions par rapport à la France. Il y a aussi l'équipe de France de football qui joue demain. Est-ce que tu vas regarder ça et est-ce que tu es content justement d'être aux États-Unis dans cette même semaine, cet événement? Et déjà, je te laisse répondre à ça.
Oui, je suis très content de pouvoir assister au match France-Maroc. Je pense qu'on a toutes nos chances dans ce match. Ça va être un match difficile mais qui sera ouvert, je pense, et j'espère que la France va l'emporter.
I switch in English for the last one. Paddy just said that you're open everywhere and you want to capitalize on your aggressiveness. Do you have an answer to that? Because for the last year, you're known for the good game plan. You got into the fight. So will we see the Benoit that Paddy expect to see in the cage?
All I can say is may the better fighter win, and whoever will impose his will get that fight in his hands.
Last one for me. Do you have eyes on the prize for the next step? For example, if you win, a lot of people talk about belts, but if, for example, Conor or Max win as well, do you have eyes on this fight as well? So, for example, my question is simple. If you got the opportunity to fight Conor, but without a belt, or Justin for the belt, what will be your choice?
I mean, I would do whatever the UFC is giving me, the opportunities they are giving me. He's a huge legend of the sports, and if he beats Max, he just shows that he's still at a very high level, sportively spoken as well. So it will be an interesting fight as well. So is Max. All those guys, I have a lot of respect to them. For them, so building your legacy is not about how many times you win. It's about who you wins against. I do really believe that, and that's something people forget sometimes. It's not about how many times you win, it's about who you do that.
And as a fan of the sports, what's it feel to be on the Conor card for you? Last for me.
It feels great, and like I said, an honor and a blessing to be here, and I'm happy to be able to showcase my skills Saturday night here in Las Vegas.
Et Benoît, en français, tu en as parlé un peu plus tôt là dans le Mediadem, mais comme ça en français, quand tu as vu le combat de Topuria contre Gaethje, qu'est-ce que tu en as pensé et qu'est-ce que tu as fait? On sait que tu adores ce genre de guerre, toi-même tu as un peu le sourire aux lèvres en parlant du fait que potentiellement tu peux y participer. Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé de ce combat techniquement et en tant que juste combat, en tant que fan du sport?
Je pense que Gaethje il a eu la capacité, malgré les difficultés qui lui ont été proposées par Ilya, de rester concentré sur son game plan et de l'appliquer de A à Z, et c'est ça qui lui a fait remporter le combat. Donc malgré un deuxième round très compliqué, il a réussi à rester focus sur ce qu'il avait à faire, et ce qui, avec le temps, a payé très fort pour lui.
Est-ce que tu es impressionné, même si on le savait, par la dureté de Gaethje?
Non, j'ai toujours vu que c'était un gars qui était dur. Il l'a montré plusieurs fois avant, donc c'est pas ça, mais plus la capacité à rester intelligent et focus malgré la dureté du combat. Ça, ça montre qu'il est lucide dans des états de fatigue importants. C'est ça qui est dur.
And last one for me in French also. Et là, le fait de voir ce combat-là, Gaethje Topuria, ça l'a rendu humain Topuria. Est-ce que ça te rend encore plus confiant du fait que là, le titre est vraiment proche et tout le monde peut l'avoir, quoi?
Tu sais, c'est un sport d'humain. On est tous humains, donc tout le monde peut être battu et battre son adversaire. C'est ce qui rend ce sport excitant. Je suis excité quoi qu'il arrive par mon opposition, et je suis prêt au combat. Thank you all.
Paddy over here. Welcome back. Other side. Right here. Shiny bald head. How you doing, man? Last time we saw you was in the same city. You fought Justin Gaethje for the interim belt, and now he's the undisputed champion. What was your biggest takeaways a few months later, reflecting on that fight, sharing the octagon with Justin Gaethje, and what you were able to accomplish in one of the best fights of the year?
Don't go to war with Justin Gaethje. I'm more than likely going to lose. But, you know, I got wrote off after it. Everyone said I got beat by an old man. And then he goes and does that to Ilya, and all of a sudden he's the best things in sliced bread. So, just shows how the goalposts get moved constantly.
I was going to ask you, because you always talk about the goalposts being moved, but especially after just the fight you had in January, but after what he did to Ilia Topuria, it feels like the post might have tightened up a little bit. It seems like you're getting a lot more credit now than maybe you've gotten with a lot of your wins. Are you noticing that as well?
No, yeah, I said that after the fought. Got more respect for losing a fight than I did for winning 7 in a row in the UFC. Just shows how mad our fan base is, doesn't it?
Do you think that Justin winning, because your fight with him was so fun, it's going to be a lot of on a lot of fight of the year lists, does that actually not hurt you as much in this title conversation, especially with the win on Saturday?
No, yeah, obviously with him winning and becoming undisputed champion, it looks good for me. You know what I mean? But I said that after he beat me. I said he was going to beat Ilia Topuria. I said it was fate that he beat me. It was his destiny to go and win the title at the White House. And I was just in the way.
The state of this division is pretty wild right now. You got Arman Saruki in there. He's been doing a lot of wrestling.
No, he needs to fight, though. He's had like 1 fight in 3 years and he beat an absolute bum. So, like, he needs to actually fight, not go round in a singlet tickling people.
Who should he fight?
Anyone. Just fight someone. You know what I mean? It's like get in the octagon and actually fight. Stop going round on your private jet, eating food.
And then last thing for me, you know, all these years ago when you were fighting for Cage Wars, you were talking about Conor McGregor, and now you're sharing a card with him. This is a very big deal. This is something you sort of envisioned along the way. What is this like for you, being in the co-main event of a Conor McGregor card, and does he win on Saturday?
This is just another fight to me. You know what I mean? I'm back in Vegas fighting again. It's just a lot less pressure this time because all the pressure's on Conor. You know what I mean? And he's got more media than anyone, and I've normally got the most media. So, yeah, it's just another fight, and you never know. I think if Conor wins, it'll have to be in the first 2 rounds. If it goes past there, Max will probably take over.
Paddy, I keep seeing right here to your left. I keep seeing this clip going around from 11 years ago where you first mentioned Conor McGregor, and like, is there at least something seminal about being here, sharing this card, and being right under him, and potentially having people talk about you two fighting each other?
I don't know. Like, that was right after the fight, and I'd been elbowed in the back of the head about 12 times, so I was absolutely on one. Yeah, I can remember people asking me if I was drunk in that and everything when I'd literally just stepped out the cage.
When you look at Benoit, like obviously a 4-fight finishing streak for him, is this what you like now, especially after probably learning some important stuff from the Justin Gaethje fight, someone who's going to try to come right at you and take your head off?
Yeah, I think it plays right into my game, the fact that he's just going to step forward wildly and try and take me head off.
Thank you.
Paddy, I was wondering, it came out that people are like, oh, all the attention for the fight with Justin and everything else, and just, was he buying into it? Was it just how his body language and it was deceiving us? In hindsight, how do you feel about how you handled everything going into that fight with Justin before actually getting in the cage?
Felt good. Know what I mean? Don't really know what else to say to that. Know what I mean? I felt good going into the fight. I just didn't fight the right fight.
It's been a while since you've had a little bit of a back and forth with an opponent. Benoit hasn't really, been one to throw logs on the fire, so to speak. Do you miss a little bit of having that, at the press conference, so we're going to get into it? Or is it nicer that, it's just about the business and the fighting?
I'm up for anything. You know what I mean? If someone wants to start something, I'll finish it. But if they want to be cordial and have no beef, then I don't mind.
Paddy, I know you said what you feel like lost you the Gaethje fight was not sticking to the game plan. How important is sticking to the game plan on Saturday night?
Very important. That's how I've won all my other UFC fights. You know what I mean? Putting a game plan together and actually working it. Where against Gaethje, I just bit down on my gum shield and started scrapping. It was pretty stupid of me, but you learn from it.
And what are your thoughts on the new AI rankings dropping you from 5th to 9th in the world?
No one's really taking notice of them anyway, are they? So who gives a fuck?
Paddy, over here. You fight on Saturday night. England is also playing Norway. What are you more nervous about, the fight or the soccer?
I'm not nervous about either.
What are you more excited about?
What do you think, lad? Something that 11 other fellas are going to do or something that I'm going to do?
Good answer.
Yeah, that was a bad question.
Apologies. And one more question from me. You and Luke Riley, you're leading the scene for Liverpool. Who's the next star out of your gym that we don't know about yet?
Well, he's not actually from Liverpool, but he trains with us. He lives with us now. He's from Hull. George Staines. He's 10-0, fighting on Cage Warriors, and he's one of my sparring partners. He's also a lightweight. He's gonna be in the UFC, and hopefully real soon. Like, he's only 25 years of age, got the potential to be a ranked superstar, and you know he loves Star Wars, so all the nerds will love him.
Best of luck, champ.
Paddy, just here, forgive me another football question, but do you back Tommy Tuchel's boys to go all the way?
No.
How far do you see them going?
What?
How far do you see them going?
Probably semis. Argentina will slap them.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Paddy, who made the biggest comeback, Oasis in 2025 or Conor 26?
Well, we haven't seen Conor's comeback yet, lads, so we don't know, do we? We don't know.
That's true.
Hi, Paddy. There is a rivalry between France and England since a lot of years. Does it give you some extra motivation to face a French fella?
No.
No?
No, I don't give a flying fuck. It's nothing to do with me.
Thanks.
Paddy, one here in the back, to your left, all the way here in the back.
Yeah.
You're one of the most popular fighters on the roster. You've had increasingly higher profile fights. You do more media, have the social media interactions. Is the love of the game still the same as when you first fell in love with the sport?
Yeah. I just love getting inside the octagon and punching people in the face and getting punched in the face. As you can tell from my last fight, I love getting punched in the face.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, Paddy. So Benoit is known for his aggressiveness, and it means that even if he's not like technically maybe the best on the ground game or striking like per se, his aggressiveness changes everything. How do you counter that, and how do you get prepared for this particularly?
I counter it with my technical ability. I think his aggressiveness is going to put him in a bad spot, and that's what's going to win me the fight.
And do you think he's open, whether it's on the ground or striking?
Yeah, he's open everywhere, striking, ground. I can see me either taking his neck or his chin home with me, one or the other. Yeah. He had his hand up for ages. Go ahead, lad.
Thank you very much. I wanted to ask, there's this like story that goes around of Conor McGregor like showing up to your place or something. What's your recollection?
Yeah, it's a load of shite.
But it never happened at all?
No, it never happened at all.
Right, because I know there's like mad stories going back, so it's good that you've...
No, yeah, when he was in Liverpool, people said that he knocked on my house, and some people made it up like he wanted to fight me. Some people made it up like he wanted to get me out to party with him. This is like 2017. I was still fighting on Cage Warriors, but I was still living in my mum's at the time, and my mum has cameras on the house, and no one knocked at our door, lad. Unless he knocked on the wrong door.
Obviously, when it comes to Gaethje and that Topuria fight, like of course you've been super complimentary of Justin. You've made absolutely no excuses about what happened in January. But a lot of people are talking about that perhaps like the eye pokes, there was maybe a little factor of maybe his hands were a little open for some of the shots.
Yeah, like I'm not going to use it as an excuse, but the eye poke did change the fight in a big way. All the damage on my face was from an eye poke right hand, and wasn't just an eye poke, lad. I felt a thumb touch me brain, so it was a bit heavy. I couldn't see for about 2 rounds after it.
Would Ilya be fair to have that same concern after that, based on what you saw?
Would he what?
Like in Ilya's fight?
Don't know. Did Ilya get poked?
I think they were saying that there were times where the shots were the
I don't think he got poked, lad. He just got his face mashed up.
So you'll never fight him?
Who?
Ilya.
Who said that?
No, I'm just asking, do you think it's like that whole thing?
Yeah,
is
I'll
on?
punch his little head in for him.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Kirsty.
Cory over here. Welcome back. First fight since the Merab Dvalishvili fight. What has this camp been like, and what has this week been like getting ready to take part in this massive event?
Yeah, camp's been good. Like always, it's my first 3-round fight since Frankie Edgar. So that was a little bit different. But yeah, that preparation was kind of a little bit harder than normal just because the pace is a little bit higher. I started a new gym called Tiger Beetle Martial Arts in Centennial. And our cage in there is just a lot smaller, so we're like fighting like the entire rounds or whatever. But yeah, this is cool to fight on this card. There's a ton of people here. That's not normal, so that's cool.
You and Mario have obviously fought before, but I know you've done some media heading into this fight saying that this doesn't feel like your quintessential rematch. Can you sort of expound on that? Like, I know the circumstances were a little weird, but Mario considers this a rematch. Feels like the fight happened and kind of carries that chip on his shoulder. Why do you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, outside of Mario, I know having a chip on his shoulder and him probably really wanting this one, which has been something in my mind the entire time that I've been training. It doesn't really feel like a rematch. My memory is about a month long, so anything that happened more than like a month ago might as well have been lifetimes ago. So, yeah, I mean, and I also didn't lose, so he definitely has a chip on his shoulder. He probably thought about, that fight way more than I did in this one, which, could benefit him, but also could not.
Were you surprised that this is the direction they went? Like, I know the last time I spoke to you, there were some other options presented to you, and they kind of changed direction. Were you surprised that Mario was the name in the long run?
I knew when O'Malley's a Hobby got announced that they were going to do me and Mario just because at the time there was no one else booked. That's the fight that made the most sense. I also think that Mario's like proven himself in the sport really well, so he definitely gets a shot at, one of the top guys. And, yeah, so I saw it coming once those fights got announced.
Sean had the big win at the White House. I know you wanted to fight him on that card, but is there a part of you, because you've been calling for this one for so long and the fans have been clamoring for it for so long, but is there a part of you that kind of has to let that go a little bit, or do you still feel like that fight's realistic right now?
I mean, I think that more than anything, that's just the fight that the fans want to see the most. So, I mean, outside that, it's just a talking point that I have to have an opinion about. Like if Sean ever fights me or doesn't, like it's I want to fight him because I think he's good and I think he's one of the top guys. But no, like it's the fight that the fans are asking for the most. That's why I want it.
And then last thing for me, big main event. We got Conor McGregor returning against Max Holloway. How do you see that fight going down?
I didn't want to make it I like both of them. I like both of them a lot. I think Max will probably win just because I think that the conditioning is going to be a big deal, and then not fighting for so long is going to be a big deal. But I'm really grateful that I'm on a Conor McGregor card and get to be the featured bout on it. Like, that's really freaking cool. I haven't thought about it too much just because obviously I'm focused on getting the win and stuff, but I think after this one, this will be a really sweet win, and I'm pumped that a bunch of people get to watch me fight because that's what the fuck I came here to do, so.
Cory in the middle right here. You mentioned the new gym. It sounds like things are going really well. How different has camp been being a gym owner now and having to deal with that going into this big fight?
I'm kind of a gym owner. My business partner, Carrington Banks, who's also my wrestling coach, is more the guy that runs everything, so I don't want to take responsibility for any of that because he's been doing a really good job with all of that. But having my own gym is great. We get to kind of set the culture and make the rules and stuff, which is a really big deal when you're on any type of team. We're crushing right now with how many people I think are having a really good time at our gym and loving it and the memberships and all of that stuff. So we're in Centennial, Colorado, if you want to check us out, Tiger Beetle Martial Arts.
How much did you take away from some of the coaches you've worked with in the past in building this gym? You've worked with Trevor Whitman. There's so many great coaches that have been there throughout your career. How much did you kind of take from them when opening this gym?
Yeah, I've been blessed to obviously be around a lot of really good teams. Grudge, High Altitude, Easton's, like a lot of really, really good teams in Colorado there. So, yeah, I mean, I just had a lot of really good instruction. Like I'm not, I don't think that I'm self-made or anything like that. Like I had a lot of people help me on the way, and definitely has helped with like the business side and the teaching part of coaching too.
I know you and Brandon Royval have been training together for the last year and a bit, and he's also on this card. How cool is that both of you get to go out there and as someone who's trained with him?
Yeah, Brandon's awesome. I'm really glad that he got to, be a part of everything that we're doing over there, or decided to be a part of it. One, the guy's really good. Two, you don't get more conditioning rounds than against Brandon. That dude it's crazy the pace that he can keep for multiple rounds. Super hard to deal with. Brandon's kind of, he's got a lot of skills, but when you watch him versus when you feel him and, you're fighting against him in a round, it's way different. Not that he's not impressive, aesthetically, watching, but when you're going with him, it's whoa, how can this guy keep that pace,
Are you surprised to see him as the underdog this weekend? I don't know if you look at odds or not.
I didn't look at odds. I was a little bit curious, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think about the odds a ton. I feel like that part of my brain, I just blacked out, just don't think about that.
Yeah, and just last one for me. They just announced a fight just about a week ago. Looks like Umar is going to be fighting Song Yadong now. Just your thoughts on that fight and how you think that one plays out.
Yeah, that's great. Honestly, man, you got to give Umar a lot of credit because Umar stays super busy. He doesn't have to fight Song. If Merab wins, I think that Umar probably has one of the better arguments to fight against Merab, and he's not going to sit on the bench and wait. Some people. And good for Umar for just being a fighter's fighter. That's cool. Song's a really good fighter too. I'm curious to see how that one goes. I think that the wrestling might be a little bit, I don't know, it might be a little bit too much for Song, and it's a 5-round fight too, and Song kind of wears as the fight goes on, so I'd probably have Umar winning.
Cory, front right here. To kind of go back to preparing for a 3-round fight now, I know physically it's going to be different because it's kind of a sprint, but mentally when you're in the fight, often the 3rd round is the turning point. Halfway through the 2nd round, fight's almost over. So I guess what is it like mentally kind of knowing that this is 2nd round, only one fight left, only 1 round left now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's probably how Mario's going to view it, is it's like a sprint, but I'm still going to do my same shit that I do in all of my fights. I feel like I don't really think of pace. I think of who's winning, every 10-second interval or whatever, but no, my plan is to just be the best me, whether it's 5-round fights, 3-round fights. But that being said, my best rounds, I think, are usually my earlier rounds, and that's going to be hard for Mario to deal with.
And then just last one, I don't know if you saw, and Mario took a bit of exception to it, nothing you did, but the UFC posted your submission over him and tagged him in it, and he was like, why would you tag me in this? So I guess what would it be like for you if the UFC tagged you in one of your losses like that?
If the UFC did that, I don't know. Who cares, man? Who cares? Who cares about social media? Fuck social media. No, I'm just kidding.
Hi, Cory. Here.
Hey.
Mario Bautista comes with a hype, but do you think there's a significant difference in the level of opponents that you both have faced?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Mario actually has a decent amount of fights in the UFC. Mine have been title fights, a lot of challenger fights, and definitely. I mean, by far, I've had the way tougher opponents than Mario.
And also, we have seen a comedic side of yours in social media, which honestly I find pretty funny.
Thanks.
Does that help you distress and manage the pressure of fighting?
No, not really. I do that because if I'm gonna have to have a social media presence, I'm gonna do it in a non-douchebag way, and that's my way of doing it. So, but I am still a douchebag. I just don't let people know.
Cory, one here back to the left, all the way far back here.
Okay, hey.
You have one of the most creative styles in all of MMA. How do you stay unpredictable while using that creativity and not coming at a cost to your efficiency?
Yeah. I just want to make my fights fun for the fans to watch. I don't really want to, that's why I worked my ass off to be a really good wrestler, is so that, one, I can bag, close rounds or whatever, but two, so that people don't have to watch me get laid on for 5 rounds and then complain about the other guy not doing his job. If you get held down for rounds, that's your own fault. And so part of that is, motivated by I just don't want to be that type of fighter that's in really boring fights like that. And yeah, I think that I've always kind of been a guy that likes to do his own thing and do his things his own way, and so that kind of makes up the style that I have, is just me kind of wanting to do shit my way.
Thank you.
Hey, Cory, right here. This one I ask a little bit more for your reaction. You dropped a line of instructional videos on striking. Do you ever worry an opponent will watch those videos and learn a little bit more about how to fight you?
Yeah, I've definitely thought about that a lot, but I also have a lot of training partners that are really good that know exactly what I'm going to do every single Tuesday, Friday when we spar, and there's still not a lot that they can do about it. So I think that this sport is like X's and O's to me. If you do the right stuff at the right time, you'll win. There's also like a component of like mental and fighting with spirit and all of that stuff or whatever, but if I do the right stuff at the right time, whether you know the rules of math, doesn't really matter. It's still going to be the same answer.
Love it. Thank you.
Trying to get her own audio set up for her channel. Mario Bautista coming in.
There's a gang of people here today.
Mario back here. It's nice to get what you want, right? I mean, your last performance obviously showed the UFC something in order to get you this rematch with Cory. But what did that showing against Vinicius do for you and your confidence?
It just got me back on the win streak, right? Coming back from that loss and then going out there, main event, second round finish. We're back on the win streak. So it didn't really affect my confidence, actually. I just knew I just had to get back in there, fight here in the States, and that was pretty much it.
I know Cory's done some interviews, and he doesn't really consider this a rematch just based on how the first fight came together. Like, how do you view the first fight? Because you took it on short notice. It was your UFC debut. Do you use that as like a chip on your shoulder, or do you view it as a fight that kind of didn't happen because of the circumstances?
No, I view it as a fight that did happen, but we both have grown from that time. We're completely different fighters. At the end of the day, it is a rematch, but we're completely different, so I'm excited for it.
How much has he changed in your opinion? Like how much has he evolved in your eyes, and what were your thoughts on his performance against Merab?
I don't think he's changed too much, actually. I think he's always been a striker. I think he's always going to be a striker. But if he's grown in any way, it's just in these big moments, the title shot opportunities, these big names. I think that's how he's grown.
Sean O'Malley set the tone for the team with a nice knockout at the White House. How did you react to that? I know you have a close relationship with him, and how much of a boost did that give you heading into this fight?
Yeah, I mean, Sean doesn't really train at our gym anymore, but I was happy for him. I'm glad that he got a finish. He's coming off those hard losses, against Merab, and so I was excited for him.
And last thing for me, I've been asking everybody this, but Conor versus Max, the rematch. Your rematch is going to take place first, but it's going to end with another rematch. How do you think the night ends? What's your prediction for the main event?
I got Max Holloway in that fight. Yeah, I think I think the longer the fight goes, it's going to play more into Max's hands.
Mario, from right here. I saw an interview where you said someone in the UFC tagged you in the highlight of Cory's submission over you on Instagram, and you were very confused by it. Did you ever get to the bottom of that now that you're here at Fight Week?
No, I mean, I actually I think the UFC posted it up that, I was like, dang, I'm like, they're going to do me like that, for the promotion. But it's whatever. It was 7 years ago, so I wouldn't even be happy with that highlight if they had to pull that out.
Hey, Mario, how's it going?
How's it, brother?
So we sort of talked about the fact that obviously Conor McGregor's headlining this card. Does this fight week feel a bit different than other cards just because there is obviously going to be a lot of eyeballs for Conor on this one?
A little different. I've been on big cards before. But yeah, it's looking to be pretty big. So I'm excited to be on this card. It's going to bring a lot of eyes to the rest of us, on the main card, the prelims and stuff. So it's cool.
I know Mike talked about Sean O'Malley, but what about Marcus McGee, your good teammate and guy you train with all the time? He got a big win, and I know he was kind of sidelined for a while, and I know you two sort of go in the room a lot together as far as the rounds. Mm-hmm. How about his win and just him getting that win back? How much did that sort of impact you guys in the room?
Well, he wasn't coming off a win. He was coming off a loss.
The loss, yeah.
To Piotr Jan, the champion. And then I don't know what was going on, but for a whole year, pretty much. And then they gave him someone that had, I think, 2 fights in the UFC. But whatever. I was happy for Marcus. Now he got the ball rolling now, and I'm excited for any opportunity he has now.
And you know, I know you've done a lot of sort of coaching at the lab, and I know a lot of guys look up to you. You train with a lot of younger fighters. Like, how much support have you had going into this fight? Because you know, this is a big one here. If you get this win over Cory, it's going to really propel you up the rankings. How much support have you had sort of going into this one?
It's been huge. You know, like at the beginning of camp, it's kind of I do my own thing. I just go in there, train. But this last week, you can kind of feel it from everyone. Everyone's saying like, "Good luck, man! Like, hey, you're an inspiration. You're the leader of this team." And I don't really hold that position. I just go in there and just work my hardest, and I guess I'm just the leader of the team, I guess.
Hey Mario, good to see you again. I want to know, if you could go back, where would you say, or how would you describe where you were at in your skills and in your career when you went into that first fight with Cory Sandhagen?
At that time, I was working, you know, pretty much full time as an auto glass installer, working out in Phoenix during the summers. You know, I was in debt, so I was completely different. You know, I wasn't training as much as I do now, but I'm completely different now. Now I do this full time. I've been doing this full time for 7 years. I've had big opportunities, big fights. It's completely different.
In that time, obviously many UFC fights since then. What are you most proud of in terms of the growth of your game and what you've been able to develop as you've been at this level, obviously in a competitive division in UFC?
I think just dealing with these high pressure moments, these big fights. I've gone through a few now, because when you're 6-0 and you get tossed into the UFC like that, it's a lot to take in. You know, I kind of look back and that's a lot for a young fighter. Now I've gone through so much, like you said, experience, big fights. So I see it a little bit different this time.
Who in your circle of friends or family is most excited that you're on a Conor McGregor card?
I don't know if there's anyone too much. Probably teammates, I would say. Teammates are pretty excited. You know, it brings a lot of eyes to the fight card and to myself. So, if anything, it's teammates.
Mario, over here. A couple of years ago, Conor McGregor was tweeting against you because of the Jose Aldo fight. I know you defended yourself. Have you guys had any interactions this week? Are you guys chill vibes?
No, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him at all this week. So it's whatever. I'm focused on my fight. I'm sure he's focused on his, but it's whatever.
And it seems like the narrative around you has changed because you've been in a lot of interesting fights. It was just one lackluster fight. You got a lot of praise for the Umar fight. Have you felt that love from the fans and the respect from the public since?
Yeah, definitely. Especially after that Aldo fight, had that patchy mix, and a lot more from that Umar fight than patchy for sure. So it's pretty cool. I mean, if you look back at my last 4 or 5 fights, that is the one off, and you know we all go through things through camp. So, but I'm fully prepared today.
Mario, I spoke with your teammate Jose Delgado last week, and he said what he thinks makes you one of the best bantamweights in the world is your ability to fight. Do you feel like you need to turn this into a fight in order to get the win on Saturday?
Yeah, I feel like that's my aim, to turn it into a fight. I mean, that's what I'm here for, you know. The thing is like wherever this fight goes, I have answers for everything, you know, and I always push the pace. So it's going to be exciting. So thanks, Jose. I appreciate that.
Best of luck.
Mario, one back to your left, all the way in the back.
All the way in the back.
Yeah. Sir, we've seen you steadily climb up the ranks and have tougher and tougher fights. Was there a specific fight or a specific moment in the gym where the belief turned into a reality that you knew you were one of the most skillful fighters in the division?
Skillful? I'm not too sure. But I think my second fight in the UFC, you know, I had just lost to Sandhagen. I fought Jin Soo's son, who had just lost to Petr Yan, and they had a fight of the night. And they pitted us against each other. You know, that was his debut. So I think they put us in a spot to see who wants it more. And I came out on top. So I think that was a pivotal moment for me in my career.
Damn, that's a lot of people. What's up?
Brandon back here.
How you
How's it
doing,
going?
bud?
I'm doing good, man. Obviously, there are a lot of people here. That's the Conor McGregor factor. What is it like being in this room, International Fight Week, preparing for a big fight, and the return of Conor McGregor headlining this card?
I mean, I've been kind of like in my own secluded area at the Airbnb, so yeah, I didn't really expect walking in all this. So I'm taking it as it is going right now, I guess. But so far, so cool. Yeah.
Obviously, you're fighting an up-and-comer in Lonnie Kavanagh, coming off a big win over Brandon Moreno. What was your reaction when that was the name that was presented to you and for this particular card?
I could see it coming. Yeah. As soon as that fight was over, I'm sure they're gonna present this next or something of that sort. I actually thought I had a fight in place, and then he won that fight, and they're like, actually, this is the fight we're gonna make. So yeah. So it's kind of how it unfolded.
What was the fight that was in place, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm not really sure if it is in place, so I don't want to say. But yeah, I thought I had a fight at the time, and then then they offered me Kavanagh. I think I knew we were fighting probably like the next day after he won that fight. So yeah, they made that fight quick.
Yeah, you're obviously one of the more cerebral fighters in the sport. You're obviously one of the most exciting fighters, but you take a very interesting psychological approach to the fight game. So where you're at in your career right now, and considering this opportunity in front of you, what is sort of the mentality heading into this fight? Like, do you put any extra pressure on yourself, or do you feel free? Like, how would you describe how you feel heading into this fight?
Oh man, and like I've always been this way, but I take everything personal. Like, this is personal. This is someone trying to take my spot. I've been in the top 5 of this division for maybe like 3 or 4 years. I don't really know, but most of my UFC career I've been in the top 5. And I take it personal. They're trying to push me out, and it's my job to make a statement and stay in there.
Does it feel similar to I know a lot of the fights feel personal, but how similar does this feel to maybe the Tetsuro Taira fight? Because it feels kind of similar, and you went out there and had the performance you had that night.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different, like, obviously a whole different opponent, different take, and all the above. But yeah, just I always feel that way. I always like to have a chip in my shoulder and my balls dragging when I walk into that arena.
Last thing I want to ask you about, big main event, Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2. What's the official Brennan Royval prediction for the main event?
Bro, you want me to get my ass kicked by these guys? I have to see these fools. You realize that, right? What if I'm in the locker with one of them and they heard me pick up against them? I just predicted a great fight, man. That's really all.
Brandon, over here.
Hi.
Hi, another international fight week for you. Last year was an exciting fight against Joshua Wayne. What do you expect from Loner for this fight? What could be different than the last one that was so exciting, a lot of exchanging on the striking?
I mean, hate it or love it, for me, I don't personally love it. This is why they made that fight. They made this fight to be exciting, and that's what's going to happen is, there's a reason they booked this fight so far out and right after Lonnie Kavanagh won. It's because this is the exciting fight to make, and this is what they want. This is why I get paid, and this is why I'm here. So the opportunity is fill my pocket full of cash and make a statement and, put on another high level, high performance, and fun fight.
Loner is now a rising star. If you win this fight, how do you see your path back to be a contender for the fight?
Yeah, I mean, just one step in the right direction, right? It's always that. It's just, you can't look too far forward, can't look too far backwards. It's just one step in the right direction, and hopefully get another big one right after that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you Brandon?
What up, dude?
Hey, how you doing? I got to ask, because I saw your post on Instagram, Justin Gaethje winning the title. I know that really had an impact on you. You've got to train with him a little bit. How cool is that, here's an underdog, people were counting him out, and he went out there and won the title over a legend in Ilia Topuria?
Oh, man, it was the greatest thing ever. I thought that was just like the perfect end to the White House card. It's like that was so cool. It was so perfect. And, you see the guy train. I get to be in the rooms with him. Watching him train, watching what he does, and watching his mind state over everything too is just so cool. He's a very unique individual, and that guy went out there and delivered. And I think I said it before the Paddy fight and after the Paddy fight is Justin Gaethje might be the coolest fighter that's ever lived and walked the face of this earth, and he just showed it again, time and time again. And it's just I'm lucky to brush shoulders with him. I'm lucky to see his work. I'm lucky to be in some of the same rooms as he is, and and then wave the same flag as he does, man. He made us all a little. I was saying this. I was like, I think the flag in front of my house stood a little bit taller that day, and and for the next weekend afterwards, and I always happy to be from the USA, but man, he made that really special.
And you got to train with Cory Sandhagen, who's also on this card. What does it mean to be on the same card as him? You guys are both looking to go out there and get wins.
Oh, I feel like it adds a little bit more pressure in the sense of, like, I want to hype him up before the fight, too. And, obviously Cory's his own individual, and he's going to do great out there. But, like, I think that's, like, it's more motivation to go out there, make a statement, go, put the wind under his sails a little bit right before he walks out and, like, Mile High Militia in this motherfucker, bro. I want back-to-back wins in Denver and, make it happen.
Are you surprised to be the underdog in this fight?
No, not at all. I think Loner Kavanagh's really good, and I think I was only a favorite in the match now fight, so it's like, whatever, fuck you guys,
And just last one for me. We haven't spoken since Kopp got the win over Horiguchi. What did you think of that performance? I know you keep an eye on other fighters in your division.
Yeah, I mean, just two very high-level fighters. I think both those guys, that fight could have been for a belt, They're very high-level fighters, very skilled, and I think Horiguchi, in his loss, just showed how great he is, too.
Hi, Brandon. Over here. We have seen you cornering Alexander Hernandez, and he has made big improvements. What do you feel about coaching, and do you think it's going to be a full-time thing for you in the next chapter of your life?
No, I don't. I don't enjoy coaching. I like watching Alex win. I like watching him perform. I feel bad because I ditched him while he was in the shower. He was supposed to be here today, but we had to take off. I don't want to be late to this. But no, man, it's motivational. It's cool and all the above. But as far as a coach goes, man, I've coached pretty much most of my life, and I don't know. I can't see me doing that forever. I think it takes a lot. It's a hard job. It's a thankless job, and forever grateful for the coaches I have around me. But never really wanted to be a gym owner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rodog.
Hi.
Last time you were on a 2-fight losing streak, you went on to fight for the title. Do you kind of see that a path this way? If you get a win over Lonnie?
Yeah, my plan's always about. My plan's to go take out everybody. I know, especially at the top of the sport or even just the flyweight division by itself, everybody's so good. This is the peak of the flyweight division, I think. And, anybody could be anybody on any given day. And I thoroughly know I could beat all the guys I lost to. And, I could lose to anybody any given day, too. It's just it's a hard sport. And when you're at the highest level with, I think, one of the most all-around skilled fighters there, fight weight classes there is. It's any given day, I prepared hard for this fight. I prepared smart for this fight, and I believe I did everything I did to win this fight and beat Lonnie Kavanagh. But we'll see.
And then one last question outside your fight, with Josh Van and Pantoja most likely fighting next. Who do you think that wins that rematch?
Oh, bro, I don't know. I really don't know. I think, once again, it's just any given day. It's Joshua Van, obviously, way slicker of a striker and super cool in his own right. I think Pantoja is the best grappler in the division, at least one of them. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It's one of those, like, maybe it's one round completely dominant, maybe the other round completely dominant. I think as the fight goes on, Joshua Van probably will pick up the pace, and we'll see. But I don't know. I think Pantoja's looked tired his whole entire career, and he's always still there, man. That's the zombie. He's a zombie out there,
Good luck, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Brandon.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
The last time we spoke, you said you prefer fighting in the Apex rather than the T-Mobile because you're winless in the T-Mobile and you want to.
Yeah, I fucking hate this arena.
Are you looking forward to another attempt to try and get your first win in there?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it is what it is. I don't believe in like anything superstitious or anything, but fuck this arena personally. I wish it was any other arena, but yeah, I'm just happy to kind of be here, and be not at the New York is another thing I don't like.
If a similar fight to the Josh Van fight last year breaks out against Lon, do you think that will work for or against you?
Oh, I think that it'll be a complete advantageous to me. In a dogfight, I'm not losing that. against Lonnie Kavanagh. You know, there's Joshua Van brings like a very unique, not unique, but I just don't think he loses his cool ever. I think he stays calm. I think he's very calm under pressure and under fire and all the above, and that's what's making him a champion right now. We'll see if Lonnie Kavanagh does the same.
Best of luck.
Thank you, brother.
Brandon, that kind of goes along my question. Is there part of you that makes it a goal to introduce the dogfight into this fight, given how young Lonnie is in his UFC career?
Yeah. For sure. I always think in a dogfight, I come out on top. I think under chaos, I'm one of the best fighters there is. Under chaotic situations and all that stuff is sadly where I thrive best in life. Is under the gun. So. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm down to bring it there. I'm down to make this a dirty fight. I'm down to make this fight of the night, fight of the year, whatever it is. I want it. I want that smoke, and and I prepared for that. I prepared for a hard fight, and we'll try to make it that.
Hey, Brandon. I think most people would argue no other flyweight has had quite as difficult a schedule as you in terms of the level of competition. What advantages do you think have come from the fact that you have had to fight so many of these top-level guys consistently?
Yeah. With the exception of Cape, as of right now, anybody I've lost to went and won a belt pretty much right afterwards. So, I don't know. It's just one of those, like, it is. This is what I wanted. I wanted this. I wanted to test myself against the best mixed martial artists, and man, getting prepared for Lonnie Kavanagh has been fun because it's way funner to prepare for a guy like super high skill levels, super high, intensity and all this stuff, compared to like back in the day where I'm like, oh, this guy kind of sucks, like I could beat him anywhere. And but like right now, it's like we're going very strategic, we're going very, a game plan, and watching a lot of videos, watching what he does, habits, all the above, and going purely based off of that. And it makes a whole different version of the fight. Is like preparing, like training is so fun, like I love it. But then now you're like preparing for war with your teammates and your friends and all the stuff of like, oh, I think this is gonna work. Oh, I don't think this is gonna work. And it makes the game way more exciting, if I'm being honest.
Is there a particular guy that you would say, you know what, I fought all of them, that guy hits the hardest in the flyweight division?
Yeah, I mean, I remember Kai Car-France hit pretty hard. Manal Cape hits hard. I don't think I've ever been punched and been like, that was fucking nice, Like, yeah, so I guess probably all these little assholes hit hard. Plus, like, I got negative power, so I be hitting people and waking them up, All right, cool. Thank you, guys.
Hey, guys.
Lonnie over here.
Am I looking?
Things are moving very fast for you right now. You getting main events on short notice, and now you're in International Fight Week. How would you describe this sort of whirlwind start to your UFC career?
Yeah, it's awesome. These are the moments I live for, and I get to do this, so I'm here for the journey.
And then the fight with Brandon Moreno was an incredible performance. I think you opened up a lot of eyes with that fight. Have you felt the impact of what you did that night with the fan base and on social media and stuff like that? Have you noticed sort of this influx in popularity and people believing in you after that performance?
Yes and no. Obviously, it's really nice, like growing a fan base, and I feel like I have very supportive fans. You know what I mean? But for me, I don't focus on that too much. It's just more about what's next and how do I get to where I want to be.
And then going from one Brandon to another and doing so on this big card. What was your reaction when you found out that Brandon Royval was the opponent?
Oh, I was excited. He's a great fighter. He's an exciting fighter. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. So I'm very looking forward to it.
And what does a win do for you here? Like, flyweight's obviously very interesting right now. We're still waiting on Josh Van to fight Pantoja again, but you're obviously in the mix if you can go back-to-back with the Brandons here. So where do you think a win puts you on Saturday?
Yeah, I think it puts me in good stead for a title challenge, I fought Brandon Moreno, who was a former two-time world champ. I'm fighting Brandon Royval, who has fought at that level. The last person that fought him got a title contender shot, so that's what I want to do.
And then last thing for me, kind of putting the analyst hat on, Conor McGregor's fighting Max Holloway in the main event. You're going to set the table for that fight. How do you think the night ends? What's your prediction for that fight?
I've been asked this so many times. I can't give a prediction. You know, I obviously Conor being half Irish, I want to back Conor, but I also love Max Holloway. I grew up watching him, so I'm just excited to watch that one as a fan.
Lonnie, right here. I know you wanted this fight in Macau with Royval, and you said you turned it down and stuff. In hindsight, is this the better circumstance to get this? The platform, the timing, the opportunity, and the stage here?
Yeah, definitely. You know, obviously fighting back in Macau is technically my hometown, you know, where I'm from Hong Kong. My mom's from Hong Kong. But this is the biggest card of the year on such a great card. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for better.
Over here. I did want to ask about that with Max. On your UFC.com bio, it says that Max Holloway is one of your favorite fighters. As a young guy coming up, I know obviously you've had, you know, time in the UFC a minute, so maybe not starstruck, but what does it mean to you? You get to fight on a card as one of the guys you really did admire growing up.
Yeah, it's awesome, you know, and talking about starstruck, if I see him, I'm like, oh, that's Max Holloway, do you know what I mean? The little child of me comes out, but I look up to Max, and I think he's been at the top for so long. Do you know what I mean? And he's proved he's always had exciting fights, and I like his mindset going into things. So, yeah, you had to tell me 5 years ago I'd be fighting on a card with Max Holloway and Conor McGregor, I would have told you to go do one, you know?
Having a multicultural background yourself, are there specific places you would like to go fight? Just if the UFC says, hey, you want to travel here, there, etc.?
Oh, everywhere and everywhere, you know? I think that's one of the best things about the sport. I get to travel to places that I would never really think about going to. You know, my big thing was to fight in China, being half Chinese, fight in London, being from London, which I've done, fighting in the States in the T-Mobile Arena is definitely one to tick off. So wherever and anywhere they send me.
Final question. For people who never experienced it, can you put into words what that's like to go into enemy territory in somewhere like Mexico City? You're like second round with Moreno, and you're just, you know, you seem to be very in the zone and getting fist to face, it seems like, as you want it. Just what is that moment like being inside of that?
Oh, it's insane. It's hard to put into words. It's hard to describe. It's one of those moments that you don't really think about. You're just in a flow state, and it's more about doing than, you know. But yeah, it's amazing.
Lonnie down here to your left. When I spoke to you ahead of the fight with Brandon Moreno, you spoke about the initial hesitancy you had about taking that fight in such short notice against an established UFC champion. Former champion, I should say. How satisfying was it that you did take that decision, and considering where it's put you right now?
Oh, it's amazing. Helicopter, sorry. Yeah, it's amazing. Obviously, there's always going to be doubts when you take a fight, you know. But I believe I have the best team in the world, and we're going to continue to get better every fight. And I want to be the best in the world. And Brandon is up there with the best in the world. So in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I'm glad we took the opportunity.
And I know you say you don't watch too much tape, but stylistically, from what your coaches Michael Pham and Ashley Grimshaw have told you about Brandon, how do you foresee this fight playing out?
I think it's going to be a striking fight. You know, Brandon comes to throw down. And I think it's going to be an exciting fight, and I think stylistically it's a good fight for me.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Lonnie here in the back. All the way to the back to your left.
How you doing? Yep.
Sir, you're starting to build your reputation. Your composure has been a major strength of your game. Is that something that you've always naturally have, or is there a specific moment where it started to develop?
No, I think it's something that you work on, right? Like your mindset and everything like that is a skill that you can continue to work on and continue to develop. You know, I work with psychologists. I work with a psychologist, which helps massively. And it's just about being able to control your emotions and use them when you need them, you know?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Lon?
Hello.
There's a video that went viral of your UFC debut walkout where Ash tells you to slow down. I think the quote is, "You walk when you want." How important is taking in the moment on Saturday night as you make the walk for the first time?
Of course, it's super important. Like that, in that moment, it's your moment. Do you know what I mean? You got to soak it all in. You got to play it out how you visualized it for so long, and it's your moment. No one can take that away from you. So you got to enjoy the process as you're doing it.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Just one outside the fight. What are your thoughts on just right here?
How you doing, bro?
What are your thoughts on Arsenal's season this year?
We're doing well. We did well. You know, yeah, I'm glad that we got it done.
On over here, back here, back here.
Oh yeah,
Back here.
sorry.
Yeah. So Ilya Topuria has given you a lot of praise. He's believed in you for a while now. I wanted to know, what does it mean to get the praise from someone like him, and how do you think he'll bounce back from his last fight?
Yeah, of course, getting praise from him, someone at his level, is insane. You know, I look up to him. I watch TikTok edits on him. Do you know what I mean? Before training, so to see him like mention my name and sing my praises is insane, and I'm very grateful for that. And a loss doesn't define you, and he's 100% going to bounce back from it.
And did you guys ever get to talk about fighting together, or is that somebody you're willing to learn from in the future?
No, 100% willing to learn from him. I haven't spoken to him too much. Obviously, he came backstage before one of my fights, and in that moment, you're very like locked in on the task at hand. But he said nothing but nice things. He's a really nice guy.
Best of skill.
Thank you.
Lonnie, back here to your right, back here. You talked about kind of the level of Brandon Royval as well as your last opponent, who was also Brandon. What do you make of Royval's last two fights, and specifically, what do you think of his performance against Josh Van?
I think it was a very good performance, and it was a very exciting fight, you know. And it shows how game he is to fight. Likewise with Josh Van, you know what I mean? So it was a good one to watch, and it was a good one to learn from.
You mentioned just then that, you know, a loss doesn't necessarily define a fighter. What kind of Royval are you expecting coming into this fight?
I always expect the best version of my opponents, you know, regardless of their record, what they've done. I'm prepared for the best version of themselves.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Aloni,
Hello.
in a short period of time, you've shown that you belong to the top. Do you think Royval is your toughest opponent so far?
Yeah, I do. I feel like anyone at the top is my toughest opponent, you know, and with everything that goes into it, I believe so. And I believe I'm going to keep showing levels every fight.
And also with the returning of Pantoja and the great win streak of Cap, do you see a clear path to the title shot?
I think the flyweight division is forever changing. You never know what to expect, you know. So I feel like I'm not far away from that title shot, yeah.
Lon, right here, brother.
Yes,
Just a couple
right.
of quick ones. I know it's obviously one fight at a time, but as far as the title shot goes, the current champion, Joshua Van, one of the most exciting guys in his early 20s. You're still in your 20s. People gave his fight with Tatsuro like a ton of credit for how exciting it was. Have you visualized what a fight between you and Joshua Van could possibly look like as far as the striking and excitement goes?
Obviously, yeah, I'm a one-fight kind of person, so focusing on this one, but I think it'll be an exciting fight. You know, it's definitely going to be a stand-up fight, and we're going to be throwing, you know, so I think it'll be a very good fight to watch.
And then I know, like, you're a bit of a music guy, right? Hip-hop it's got a big place in the UFC. We see guys like Drake, Action Bronson. Is there any UK artists that have ever reached out to you, or is there like anybody in the UK music scene that you'd like to meet?
Oh, there's loads of people in the UK scene, like Skepta, that I'd like to meet. Who else is there? Anyone. Actually, a funny story about Action Bronson the other day. Apparently, my mate bumped into him at the airport, and he said, "Oh, you're gonna go watch Lon fight," and he knows who I am, which is really cool. You know, so I'm blessed to be in this situation, and yeah, there's loads of different artists that I'd like to meet. Thank you.
Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit.
Well, King, I feel like we just talked to you back in May, so I guess, you know, how's life been since then? Were you expecting a quick turnaround? Did you want a quick turnaround? Just overall, just how's life been since then?
Yeah, exactly as planned. Everything is exactly as planned. I told them, and I think they wanted me to fight in September. I was like, that's too long away. Like, give me something else. It's like, all right, I got you.
I wanted to ask you this because a lot of that fight against Jeremy was like, you know, two veterans. Now you're fighting this guy kind of on the rise. You want to stay active, but it feels like there's this new generation of fighters that fights maybe twice a year. Back in the day, you'd probably fight 6 times a year, and it'd be easy. Or not easy, but like that's what you normally did. So Do you see that divide in your generation of fighters that want to stay active in this new one that, you know, fight twice, maybe 3 times a year?
Yeah. For me, it's like trying to keep something alive. You know what I mean? Keeping the old traditions alive. You know, so a lot of people, like the new guys, they're coming in, they're watering down the brand. They're changing it up some. Like where I feel like, at least before we were fighters, I feel like a lot of guys are becoming competitors and not fighters. You know.
Do you feel like you are defending this generational gap? Because it seems like they're giving you veterans and young guys, and you are pushing people away, like, every time you kind of step in there.
Yeah. I try to kind of look at it like music, like rock and roll. Like, all of a sudden it was this, and then it got changed into soft rock or, you know, all this other stuff. And so it's the same thing, like, trying to keep it at its core of what it is and not let these other guys change it so much.
And I guess, what do you think of Terrence as an opponent? We've all seen the video when you were on John Anik's show. Seems like there was an issue between you guys. Overall, what do you think of Terrence as an opponent?
Terrence is a wild card, you know. He wins fights I think he shouldn't have won, and then I think he loses fights that he think he would win. So it's kind of like it's a wild card. You know, what you're going to get, you know. What you get is what you get. You know, you never know.
Can I get your thoughts on the main event between Conor and Max? It seems like obviously massive card. All the fighters seem to be happy fighting on this massive event right now.
I'm really 50-50 on it. You know, we don't know what kind of Conor's going to show up. I feel like everything's in Conor's favor, where he's got the weight class, you know, so he doesn't have to cut weight or do anything like that. He's got everything in his favor, and so. But Max is the guy who's put the work in and been on the stages and really been in the trenches still, you know. Like, Conor got off the war. And so Max been on there shooting and sniping. And so I'm kind of on the side of Max, you know, between the two. If I had to pick the worker and the non-worker, I'd pick the worker. But that shot Conor got and timing. Timing is the key. He said it before. It's like, it's about timing. And as long as he hasn't lost that timing, I can still touch you. But can I touch you hard enough before I run out of gas?
King over here. You've overcome so much. You've become an inspiration for a lot of people. How much did it mean to get those custom shorts finally?
Oh, yeah, it's cool. I feel like I got the best shorts in the division. I mean, in the industry, I'm shitting on everybody. And so that's dope, you know, that they gave me something, because I was supposed to get $100,000. And like, oh, we're gonna give you shorts. I was like, well, does that kind of equate to $100,000? Like, how many shirts do I gotta sell to get my $100,000? I'm trying to do the calculations. I'm like, okay, but my company folk with me, and they doing some shit for me that no other black man has got so far. So I'm like, I'm the first black man to get to do it, and I'm doing me. So it's like, I feel like I'm trying to be like Michael Jordan when he brought up the Jordans. I'm going to sell this shit out. I'm going to show you how this shit is. This is my style.
Sounds like a plan. Good luck on Saturday.
Bobby here in the back to your left, all the way in the back.
Okay, there we go.
You have a ununiquely unique style that's all your own. How much of that came together through experimentation in the gym and just naturally being comfortable to you?
There's a lot of playing around the gym, tinkering and playing with the style. My thing was like, you see movies, you see stuff like that where you see these karate movies. Van Damme was real big at the time, Rocky, Jet Li, Jackie Chan. And I'm like, man, those guys look cool, but what if you could really do that stuff, you know? And so trying and got socked in the face like, oh, okay, that doesn't work, you know? And just tinkering and playing with it some. And so I'm just trying to make that shit exciting for people to see, you know, something different.
Thank you, sir.
Bobby, right here. Speaking of your style, hardcores know you've been around, you bring it, you're exciting, and all that good stuff. But does it feel like, you know, we would all say that you deserve this and more, but does it feel like you're finally starting to get your flowers with, like, the new shorts? Or you were on Anik and Florian podcast, and Anik was saying you deserve to be in the BMF conversation, and a lot of other people are echoing that sentiment as well. Do you feel that love?
Yeah, I feel love now. It's like, I've been on streaks. I've been doing that stuff way before. I was talking, and I was doing all this stuff before, and I got a lot of bad reviews, you know, and now people are finally getting it, like, oh, you're a good guy. we actually want to see you win. We actually want to see what you do more of this. And I'm like, man, I'm fucking almost 40. Now you like this shit? I was like, I got to get revamped and recreate my energy to keep it going, you know?
Better late than never, right?
Yeah. At least you saw me. At least you saw me. There's some people that come in this world and never get seen, and you want to be valued for your work. And so at least I'm getting something out this. I'm grateful for whatever God gives me.
Well, you definitely value it, and I hope you feel that value. But I also, your value seems to extend beyond the cage and beyond your fighting style. One of the more admirable things, aside from your style, is the fact that you give back to your community. That's something you're very proud of, from your businesses, your property, to even how you organize your runs in the hood. Like, you really give back. And, there was a question asked earlier of Conor about maybe trying to win back his community. He didn't seem too interested in that. Do you think not enough fighters give back to their community? Because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of them that do quite like you.
I don't know about nobody else, and I can't speak of anybody else, but that's all I got, and my thing is a loyalty thing. Like, I'm still in the same spots where I came from. I'm in the IE, and I bought all this property in the IE, and I'm trying to change my community and make it something good, I got like 7 homes. I got an apartment complex, and I'm like trying to put good families in here and change what the IE has a certain stigma for it, and everybody wants to be in LA, So it's like I'm trying to create something new where bring all these people back. Like back in the days, Elvis and those people used to come to San Bernardino, and that was like a getaway. Now it's like you come here, you're going to get robbed, you're going to get shot. And so I'm trying to rechange my community.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Bobby.
Bobby, right here. So there's a certain age where people start to write off fighters, but you come from an amazing win streak. Do you like, or do you feel good to prove them wrong?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like, I'm still kicking ass at 39. It's cool. But for me, I think it's more so like proving everybody wrong. Everybody that looked at and thought I was done. And there's been a lot of people that wrote me off. A lot of people that, just forgot about me and treated me a certain way when they don't think you're going to be something. And so it is what it is, but at least I get my little bit of revenge.
And we know how dangerous is McKinney the first round. Do you see this as a survival of the 5 minutes?
I said it before, he's a quick pumper. You know what I mean? He's just, baby, I'm done. It's like, get out of here. Like, I'll fight for a while, and so we're going the distance. We'll see where it goes, but I come to fight, and I come to fight a long time, not just a one round.
Thank you.
King right here. As far as Terrence, you're going to get in there and you're going to scrap with him, obviously, but I feel like there's been almost a little bit of sneak dissing on his end, because I saw him in the comment section talking about, we're just here to fight and the management thing, but then you look a little bit online and you see other.
Yeah, he'd be saying a little slick ass shit. You know what I mean?
So what do you think?
Don't be fooled, that motherfucker. Don't be fooled by him. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between me and him, and I'm gonna keep showing the difference between me and him. This is where we have an issue now. Is when I met up with him, I'm like, bro, you want to fight me? Like, why, bro? You're the homie and shit. And it's like, he's like, okay, I'm not going to fight you. And then a week later, it's like, bro, like Conor would say, a little snake in the grass or some shit, you're not a true man of your word. Me and Diaz started fucking with each other. We're not fighting each other. We made that, and we looked at each other, and we shook hands, and that's what it is. And so I got many offers, hey, you should fight Diaz. I'm like, no, that's the homie. And so just being a man of your word. So that's the difference, one, between us. I'm going to keep showing little subtle differences between the two. I'm going to say exactly how it is, what it is, and stand on my truth. But in his eyes, he's like, oh, it's cool. But then I'm going to do this, little sneak. Like, bro, be who the fuck you are. And that's the issue with him, too. When we were talking, and he called me out, he's like, but if I take it down, people are going to think I'm a bitch or people are going to think I'm a punk. I'm like, why are you worried about what everybody else think? You know what I mean? And, be honest, I'm like, it's just me and you, bro. I don't give a fuck about none of what nobody else think. But he's so caught up in the clout, and maybe it's a young kid thing or something. The clout and all these people. I just do me, bro.
So would you have preferred if he had just stuck to the dissing part?
Yes, yeah. At least let me know what it is. You know what I mean? Okay, you feel that type of way, then it is what it is. And that's when I'm taking the fight. I'm like, okay, you keep playing with me. You think this is going to be an easy fight, or you think this is a game? I don't know. Maybe you think because I'm old, they think I'm going to try to play me with that old card. All right, watch. I'm going to do more punching than you do. I'm going to do more work than you do. And I'm going to put more time in. I'm going to beat you at everything. I'm going to beat him from the get-go. I've been beating his ass all week long with the interviews, with the way we dress, with the way we speak. I'm going to beat you every day, all the way to the fight, and then I'm going to whoop your ass in the cage.
And then I heard you speak on it yesterday that eventually you kind of want to make your way to the BMF title. What do you think the path is to get there? And is that almost like a tribute to Nate Diaz if you get that BMF title?
Yeah, the pathway. I always tell people this. The UFC are the story writers. They write your story. And they can make you go this way, they can make you go that way. A lot of people don't understand. Like, they go, what? Why this and this and this? And the UFC did this, and the UFC does that. And so, like, my intentions were to go ahead of me. And now I'm fighting this guy, and it's like, it really don't do nothing for me. But that in my pocket's back up, I'm going to keep getting those checks. And so it is with that. But now, as far as the BMF, it'd be an honor to give my boy Nate his belt. He created the belt. Here, I brought this to you, bro. This is your shit. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Terrence, over here.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, man.
Another big event for you, International Fight Week, taking on King Green. What has this week been like for you so far?
Incredible. The vibes are right. I'm not 180 pounds on Wednesday this time, so I'm definitely excited to do the dance.
So what's going on with how this fight came together? Because I know King's been talking about hanging out with you about a week before the fight was announced, and maybe he thinks that maybe he thought you were homies, and maybe he thinks he's a pushover. That's kind of his vibe from you accepting this fight. Can you talk about your perspective of how this fight came together and King's comments about this?
I posted like this funny video on my Instagram calling him out, and then he's like, "Man, let's not take each other's shines, man." Pretty much saying like we're black, we're supposed to be brothers, and I was like, you know what, I'll take the post down. I was like, you're right. And then we only hung out really once, besides like when I was managed by Iridium, and then so he comes down, drives 2 hours, we hung out for a little bit, and that was pretty much it. Besides that, and then like literally a week later, the UFC contacted my manager. They're like, "Yo, you want to fight Bobby Green on a Conor McGregor card?" And I'm like, "Yo," I sent them the message. I was like, "Bro, it's really up to you. What do you think?" I said, "But to me, it's like I really can't say no. Like, this is something like all fighters dreamed of. Like, we grew up watching Conor McGregor, being a fan, and being able to fight on his card is something you can't turn down."
What was his response to you when you told him that?
Well, like he said, he didn't respond, so I was like, bet, easy. I know he's going to accept it. Let's go.
There you go. Still no bonuses. I think that is like the weirdest stat in UFC history, is that you've been a part of all these big fights and you've had such quick finishes, but you haven't had a bonus yet. Is that weird to you, or do you just kind of over all that until you actually get one?
I don't stress it. Like I tell people, it's all God's timing. When I get it, it wouldn't matter less to me. No matter what, as long as I get both sides of the check, I'm happy.
Fair enough. And then last question for me, putting the analyst hat on. We got Conor McGregor coming back, fighting Max Holloway. Prediction in this rematch?
If Conor doesn't get him out of there like the first 2 rounds, Mac clear decision or TKO in the 4th round.
Hey, Terrence, right here. So obviously, Bobby's been on quite the roll. He lost back-to-back fights, but now he's been on a 3-fight win streak. What have you made of his recent run, sort of going into this fight, the win streak he's been on?
Like I said, he's an OG of the game. I got nothing but respect for him. What he's doing is incredible, especially at his age. So we did not take him lightly, nor did I think he's soft or anything like that. I just had to say yes. Like I said, I'm not one to turn down fights. It's not like I told the UFC, hey, make this fight. They did their job. They thought it was a sick fight, same way I thought it was going to be a sick fight, and now we get to see it on Saturday.
What does it mean to be a part of this card with Conor McGregor headlining? Because I'm sure even before you started MMA, you were a fan of his.
Like I said, I teared up a little bit just to see where God's taking me, like just to be on the being in International Fight Week like 3 times in a row and on the magnitude of this card is just something that like is breathtaking.
I know Bobby can talk a little bit in the cage. There's a little bit of trash talk. Is that something you're anticipating and, not losing sight of trying to win the fight?
I hope he talks so he can get that jaw twisted. And so, yeah, talk. It's going to hurt real bad if I hit you in your mouth when you're talking.
Yeah. Did your teammate Joe Penefiel give you a couple trash talking tips there? I know he likes to
Yeah,
talk
Mike
some
Perry talked trash for me, and my boy Brian Santiago. We had all the crap talking. Plus, I'm a black kid. Anyone I fought back where I'm from, they was talking the whole time we're fighting, so it ain't nothing new.
And just last one for me, where would a win, especially a finish over Bobby, put you? I know he's a bit older, but he is a name in the division.
I think we definitely can call for a ranked opponent and get it. Anyone that beat him got a ranked opponent, so I'm praying for the same.
Terrence, from right here. Bobby had 31 fights before you even made your debut, so I guess when did you start? Were you watching him before you started to fight, or was it like when you started to train, that's how you discovered Bobby?
When I started watching the UFC, but I was a fan, honestly. Even when he was fighting judo, where I was hoping he'd win. Yeah, like I said, it's nothing but respect. Like, this is business. If they tell me to fight my mom, I guess we got to fight, Mom. I love you. I'll give you a hug after. Same way I'll give Bobby. Like, we could be bros after, man. We can celebrate together, man. Let's give these fans a show.
Hey, Terrence, I just wanted to ask, can you go into detail everything that was going on with that fighter retreat in Colombia that you posted about? Because that thing just looked absolutely awesome. I think a lot of people would love to know more.
Oh, the fighters retreat was sick. It was in Colombia. A couple of my homies jumped out their plane. They can never get a black man like me to do that. That's not the type of white I want to be. So I was like, yeah, next time. Maybe a couple times when I could take some shots, but I was in camp, so that was impossible. Also, we rode like in the trenches, like in some tropical jungle, some 4-wheelers that was super sick. And it was also developing a relationship with the people that came and participated and taught them how to defend themselves. It was definitely a great experience.
What is the type of weight you want to be?
I want to do like wakeboarding, maybe some tubing, some snowboarding, something on the ground, you know what I mean? Somewhere I can land safely.
Terrence, over here. You've obviously overcome addiction, come so far, and now you're on the main card of a Conor McGregor fight. What does it mean, this whole journey, and what did it take to get all the way here?
It took God, perseverance, and consistent, because like I told people, if you're called according to God's purpose, He's going to work everything out for your good. So I just trusted the process and never gave up.
Terrence, one from me. By the time you made your debut in 2017, Bobby already had 32 fights. Has he been a guy that you've watched on your come-up?
I started watching him a little bit later once I found out about him. But, yeah, like I said, he's entertaining. What's not to like about the guy? Like I said, you guys, he just probably had a lot of trauma, so his mind a little bit twisted. But I just know he just need love. Like I told him, man, you got a little brother, and it's all love, man. This is just business. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before we get you to Nikita, I'm Jeff Nowitzki, and with Oscar Medrano Gonzalez, on behalf of the UFC, we're pleased today to present to Nikita Krylov his 50-time perfect test history jacket. We were looking at the numbers this morning. Nikita is the 96th UFC athlete that has achieved this status, essentially 50 tests under the program, blemish-free, without issue. And whether this is the first one of these you've seen, or I know some of you in here, maybe not all 96, but close to it, the reason we do this is to thank these guys. Yes, they have to be compliant under the program, and there's repercussions if they're not. But that doesn't mean that a tremendous amount of hard work and dedication goes into that. Nikita's existence in the UFC predated the UFC program. He came to the UFC in 2013, took a little bit of time away, but when you add up the numbers and the years, he's been in the UFC about 10 years. Every single one of those days, he's had to make conscious decisions to stay compliant under the program. A, reporting where he's at so he can be located to be tested. B, maybe more importantly, everything he consumes, whether it's food, supplements, medications, he or his team have to check. And he's done it to perfection over those 10 years. So Nikita, on behalf of the UFC, on behalf of our dietary supplement partner, Thorne Nutrition, in a program known as Clean Fighters presented by Thorne, we are pleased to present you with your 50-time Perfect Test History jacket. Thank you for everything you've done to show you're a leader and a role model and to represent clean sport in the UFC. Appreciate it. Congrats.
Rob Beck here. Over here in the corner. How you doing? Light heavyweight Robert Whittaker. How does that sound a few days before a big fight?
The best. You know, the middleweight Rob Whittaker chapter has closed. I'm very happy as a light heavyweight. It is honestly life-changing. I recommend it to anybody.
How so? How is it so life-changing? Obviously, not having to cut all the weight is big, but what do you do with all this extra time now?
I still do have to cut weight. It's just not as brutal. It's not as bad. You know, and I was able to fuel myself much more during the camp. Recovery was much higher. Like my moods were better. Everything was just much better for it.
Fighting on the prelims is something you have not done in over a decade. Do you like this? Do you can sort of get out a little bit earlier, have a little more family time? What was your reaction to being on the prelims?
Yeah, you know, I guess at first I was a little butthurt. You know, ego is a thing. But I quickly started seeing the silver lining. It's less to do, earlier fight, in and out sort of thing. But then I got shafted and still have to do all the media that I normally do anyway. So, yeah. But it's cool. It's cool. It's an amazing card to be a part of. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be there. Like I said, middleweight Rob Whittaker, the chapter has closed. This is light heavyweight Rob Whittaker. I'm here to start. You know, it's a new chapter. It's a new page. So I'm looking to get in there, test the waters with Nikita. Tough guy. Yeah, look to have some fun.
What does it mean to you to have your whole family here with you? All your kids here, going through this process of this new journey of light heavyweight Robert Whittaker. What has that been like this week for you?
A big prompt into why I made so many changes was that I didn't enjoy the last couple of camps and last couple of fights. And honestly, things had to change. Otherwise, I wasn't going to continue. So I made the changes. I moved to light heavyweight. I did the back end of my camp at City Kickboxing just for the bodies and stuff. I brought my entire tribe with me to the fight itself. And honestly, it really is life-changing for me. I'm enjoying the journey. You know, normally by this period, I'm hungry. I'm waterloading. I'm just longing to go home. I'm missing my wife and kids. And, you know, I guess I'm just counting down the days until it's over, where I feel fighting requires such a higher degree of focus and, you know, attention that you can't be looking past it. So to want to just go home, you know, is kind of splitting my attention. So, yeah, I'm in a really good place right now.
And then last thing for me, we've seen you on the desk. We've seen you do sort of some analyst work. Let's put that hat on. Conor McGregor, Max Holloway 2, who you got and how?
There's a lot of variables in this fight. Yeah, I guess Conor hasn't been in the firefight for a long time. I don't know what sort of work he's been doing outside of the octagon, but I'm sure it's just not the same. If you're not in competition, it's not the same. So there's that factor, as well as like bouncing back from that leg break, bouncing back from things. It changes you. Time changes you. So yeah, there's that variable, and then there's also the look that Max is at 170. We haven't seen him at 170. He's a volume cardio sort of striker. So to see him at 170, where, you know, generally speaking, the higher the weight divisions, the less cardio, the less type, like faster cardio, I guess, than like featherweight and whatnot. So it's hard to say. Like I'm going to be backing Max because I like him, but I think he gets it done. He's been battle tested a lot. He's been in the game. He's had these 5-round fights. He's had to grind through it. I think getting comfortable outside of fighting and being away from it so long is really going to impact, you know, Conor. Especially a guy like, I feel like his superpower when he was coming in, obviously his swagger and his ability and striking power and prowess is undeniable. But I think he was hungry. He had a real starved look in his eye when he was tearing through people, and I feel that was a superpower that disappeared when he made $100 million.
Rob, the old mantra is a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. As someone who's there this part of fight week, not cutting as much weight as you were, do you feel happier and do you feel more dangerous? Is that something you believe in?
I'm in the best mood I've been in for fights in a long, long time. Like this doesn't feel like I'm not dragging my feet to work per se. You know what I mean? I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of the journey. I'm enjoying the journey more because my kids are seeing it. Yeah. They're a part of it too. Everyone, it's much easier to enjoy things when you're letting your kids experience it for the first time. You know, I'm enjoying things for the first time again. It's cool. I've done all the hard work. I've trained I've trained extensively for this fight. I've worked with great minds and great bodies. And I've ticked every box. I'm going in there with full confidence that I've done everything I can, and I'm going to put my best foot forward.
What's more intimidating, coming to a fight week or traveling with 6 kids?
Ooh. Mate. Traveling 6 years, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. By all means, it's not fun, but it wasn't too bad. Okay, because my wife planned things meticulously. We got a late flight, kids fell asleep, we had 4 billion episodes of Bluey on repeat. We were good. It wasn't that bad.
Good stuff.
And Rob, right here. So you sort of talked about how this has been enjoyable, this whole process. Do you feel like you've kind of got a second sort of chapter in your career with this new weight class and everything else?
Well, definitely. Like, let's be honest. Like, I don't want to be fighting for another 5 years by any means. I've got other things I want to do. I want to play Masters soccer and things like that. But I definitely have a few more in me now because the way I was feeling after the last couple of fights, the cams, the drained, like how drained I was for him, how much of a grind it was, and like I said, dragging my feet to get to everything. Comparatively, I have like a new love and lease on the game.
Yeah, and also, we talked about training a bit at City Kickboxing. Is that something you see yourself doing in the future as well, that, you want to get that added extra training in?
Without a doubt. Not just for me, but for those boys too. We've almost, we've developed a really good relationship with Eugene and the boys there at CKB. And we definitely look to continue, that relationship. I feel like I've joined their team. Like they welcomed me wholeheartedly. I did the last bit of my camp there, as well as just the ability to go back to New Zealand. It's where I was born. I got a lot of family there. It's good manner.
And obviously we're a ways away from this, but with Alberg being the champion, is that something you're worried about just because obviously, there's a relationship there?
Nah, because I don't fight people I eat with.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty straightforward.
We talked the other day about the Khamzat Chimaev fight with Sean Strickland. One thing I didn't get to ask you was, do you feel like that was the same Chimaev that fought Strickland that fought you?
Mate, can't answer that. Because anything, I don't know why. Anytime anyone makes any excuses about anything, you just see all those cope memes popping up everywhere. It's taking my head off. But honestly, I'm more in the camp now that Strickland is the anti-hero. Dude's got an ability to just upset the odd makers, and I don't know. I never fought him, but there's obviously something there that he does that just throws people off, and he can just beat them up. It's cool. It's cool to see.
And just last one for me. Did you guys switch up the games? I know you were getting a bit tired of Pokemon. Are your kids still on that or no?
Oh, dude, nah. Pokemon's done for me. I bought it, played with the kids a little bit, but it's just not my cup of tea. My kids froth on it, and they're still battling and doing their things. But my Pokemon days are over, mate.
Rob, right here.
Oh, sorry. Good.
I was just going to say, obviously Nikita started his career as a heavyweight too. If you're able to go in there and kind of push him around and your strength feels pretty good, is that just even further validation that this is a weight class where you can thrive?
I don't need a validation. I know this is my weight division. I'm never going back down to middleweight. That fella is gone. Let alone, we have, who is it? We have Chimaev, we have Derrida, we have Costa. They're all light heavyweights now. So it's I've already danced with some of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you say the middleweight Robert Whittaker is gone. How do you reflect on him? Where does he rank among the best middleweights who ever did this?
Yeah, he had his moment. He was pretty good at a point, but yeah, you know, I'm proud of the work and the legacy that I've been able to accomplish. I've fought through errors of fighters in the top 10 as champion, in the top 5. You know, the stats, you know, are remarkable themselves, and I'm proud of the work that I did. But it's time to turn a new leaf. You know, I'm excited and I'm happy where I am.
Rob, you obviously have been closing the door on middleweight, like you're saying here. But let me ask you, since the door is closed on middleweight now, can you tell us what were you walking around at? How much weight were you cutting? Is that something you can share with us?
Yeah.
For middleweight.
Yeah. So I would, generally speaking, I would start the camp at about 220, but then as I was getting older, it would slowly creep up, like 222, 223, and I think the last couple camps I started at about 230, and yeah, it was not fun. You know, by that week 5, week 4, week 3, start to really feel the lack of recovery because of the calories, start to feel drained, start to feel a bit fragile. And then this week and the week prior, I'm not eating anything. It's not a lot of fun.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like fun. And let me ask you, is that walking weight, is that any different or carried any different now with this camp and this weight division?
Yeah. So I probably did most of my camp at about 230. And even now, like, I'm pretty lean, and I'm in fight week itself. I'm still 220. So yeah, I'm at a good size. Like, and that's why as many people say that I'm a small guy. I'm heavy. You know, my ass is fat.
And on that note, last one for me. It sounded like with the previous question from Mike, it sounds like you've already pressure tested how you're going to be at 205. You don't seem to be too worried about that. So my question is basically, you know, the question is, how's the speed? How's the cardio with the new weight? I imagine you've tested all these and everything matches your standards?
Definitely. When I was at CKB, I was training with the likes of Navajo Sterling, who had a good win the other day, Tyson Pedro, these bigger guys, a lot of guys on the local scene you haven't heard of. And my cardio is at a great level. It's probably better than it was for the 5-round fights in the last couple camps. The weight, like I said, the weight, the size, I have it. It's there, you know. And like at the end of the day, like light heavyweights knock out light heavyweights. Big dudes knock out big dudes. Middleweights knock out middleweights. It happens, you know. That's just part of the game. I am the weight limit that I'm supposed to be. I'm still going to have to cut weight like everybody else to get to where I need to be. And I'm coming in trained. I'm coming in as best as I have been. So, yeah, I don't need to pressure test anything. I am a light heavyweight. I look to get in there and execute a game plan that I've worked meticulously for months. Yeah, and look to get my hand raised.
2 more questions. One, two, yes, please.
Robbie, this morning...
I can hear you.
Yep. Robbie, this morning, the whole of Australia and New Zealand tuned in for the State of Origin. New South Wales off the canvas. They were no chance. Cleary, they get it done. Now the attention for New Zealand, Australia turns to you, and you achieved the same thing on Saturday. Tell us how you did it. Give us all the answer as to how it happened on Saturday night for you to get this win.
Mate, I respect Krylov's ability. I respect the fact that he's a be killed sort of fighter. I respect his power. I respect his good wins and his hard losses. And in saying that, it means I'm going to be patient. I'm going to create opportunities. I'm going to create holes. I'm going to wait for my time, and I'm going to send him home.
Go the Blues.
Yeah, bleed blue, brother.
Go to Rob. Quick question on representation for you. You know, you trained with Eugene and the boys in New Zealand. How do you feel as a representation for the Pacific Islander community, motor community? What does that mean to you?
Say that again. Sorry?
As a representation for the Pacific Islander community, motor community, training with Eugene and the boys. Like, how does that, and what does that mean to you?
Me representing?
Yes.
Or them representing? Well, everyone representing.
You representing. You're representing yourself.
Yeah, no, I've done my best. I know full well where I get my power from, where I get my mana from, and yeah, I'm proud to be Māori. I'm proud to be Australian, and I hold both flags high. Yeah. You know, I always have, and I look to continue doing that. It's great to see some of the younger generation, the new guys coming up, some of the older guys even, still repping those flags for Pacific Islanders and Australians. And, we are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. And what's your message to the next generation of those kids coming up in the Pacific Islander community, other than put down the corned beef? What would your message be to them?
Yeah, stay focused. Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Keep your eyes on the prize. Believe in yourself. Even if it hasn't been done, you could be the first.
And one last one. Robert, we've seen you as a prospect, as a champion. You're now in a veteran stage. You're at a stage in your career where the experience and the athleticism are about as equal as they're ever going to be. Does that change how you approach the camp, along with not just the change in weight class?
Yeah, definitely. The camps aren't the same, and I think that's a big thing a lot of fighters struggle with, is adapting and changing, on the go, changing with the times. And I'm pretty proud of being able to do that. When I lost the belt and having to change things up and coming back. Every time I've got knocked down, I've gotten back up. So this is no difference. I've been using all the experience and wisdom that I have in the camps that works and don't work, and the things that work for me now that worked for me then or didn't work for me then. And it's culminated in, this camp, this past camp, this version of myself, this heavyweight version, this best version of myself that's going to come in Saturday night. Appreciate you guys. Peace.